Welcome to Dungeons and Gamers, a real play Dungeons and Dragons podcast about cool friends doing cool things. I'm Bryce, and I play the half-orc ranger, Fergus Bog.
And I'm Erin. I play Cookie Kebler, the bard wood elf.
I'm Beckers. I play Bear, the human barbarian.
I'm Matt, and I play Morthos, the tiefling sorcerer.
And I'm Darian, and I play Belladonna, the rogue high elf.
And I'm Katie Quixotic, and I play everyone else.
Last time on Dungeons and Gamers.
What a day. The entire affair was such a bore. Well, most of it. There was a bit of amusement when a ranger duo turned out to have a druid in disguise or something. Coincidentally, they were also the pair that won the doubles title. There are quite a few interesting morsels in this little vault, but just one that I've got my eye on. One of the pair does seem a bit mischievous, so I've decided to take her along with me for now. We'll see how long that lasts. She'll either be fun, in the way, or a bore. Not sure why I was sent here, but I think I will know in time.
And that brings us to now.
I think we will pick back up with Bear for now. You are standing in the furthest interior room of the collection that you can discern. There do not seem to be any other doors in here from the one that you entered in. Fren and another person are standing in there with you, looking a bit bewildered at an empty space where you just saw this other person take Bella's arm and step into a door that disappeared after them. And there's this moment of silence that happens afterwards as the two of them are sort of staring agape at the empty space where two people used to be. How do you react to this?
I don't know her that well. We just met before the contest, and I was a bear. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just cool. Are we cool?
It's all jazz, man.
Deny.
Right. Fren puts their hand to kind of like the brow bone. The dragonborn brow bone. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll. Or I guess this is kind of more deception.
Some of that's true, but
That's
a lot of it is true.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of it is true actually. So go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. There's this moment where Fren is like just slowly pressing their hand along their brow bone, almost like a face palm, but like in thought as well. How long before the tournament did you say that you met them?
Time's a little different as a bear. It was there's like definitely
I
a few meals in there.
You meal.
I measured time based on food, so it was about five sandwiches ago. I don't know, man.
Right, at least 8 breakfasts. I don't know. And a few baths.
What was I gonna say?
We gotta throw Katie off with jokes, and she can't murder us.
I know. I'm like, damn it, what were they gonna say next? And the other individual? Never seen them before either?
No. Mm-mm.
And he looks to the other person in the room, says, you might want to go and check on that. Looks incredibly annoyed, but also like defeated in a way. And the other person begins kind of like quickly striding across the room to the exit.
My elaborate plan to demoralize him has worked.
Bella.
What? Oh, I was gonna say like Rico has the name, but before we started recording, there was a deal of like, we still don't know who the collector is. So it's like, why is Katie calling him the other person?
I couldn't remember if I left Rico behind or Stacy behind. That's the real talk.
No,
So,
yeah, it's I believe Rico
I'm pretty
in the
sure
room
Rico was left behind.
and we are
Yeah,
being
Stacy was escorting.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought that, but one of the things I was doing when I was double checking what I had written for the recap was trying to watch the last bit of video. So I had the like Zoom call muted for a while, and I was like, I can't find it, and I wanted to double check on this, so I'm just going to be very neutral, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so Rico. I thought I wrote that down, but you know how my brain works. So Rico begins striding across the room rather hurriedly, heading towards the exit door. Bella, you step through this door that appears. You can't see necessarily what's on the other side, but it does seem to be a doorway. And as you are whisked through with Alotel, you step into a fairly dim room. The floors are of the same make as the rooms you were just in. The walls are of the same make as the room you were just in. There are no windows. There's a single luminous space towards the top where it seems like some sort of magic light is dimly lighting the room that you are in. And there does also not seem to be a door that is immediately apparent to you as an exit. What is immediately apparent to you is that there are copies, perhaps, of every single item in the collection in here, stowed away a bit more compactly. You see, like, not a display table, but there's a case that has several small items inside. You see a few rings inside. You see a small bag inside. It's a drab pouch. You see a small potion. You see the dryad leaf that you had seen in the other room. And around you are the Aegis, the locksmith bane item that you were looking for, all stored in various storage vessels that, especially for the smaller items, still make them easily identifiable. It's all very neat and tidy in here, but there is a thin layer of dust almost covering everything. And Alotel kind of whips the hair around and says, "So, we have a few options here. You seemed amusing, and I picked up on a little bit of ulterior motives. I have a few things I'm going to take."
Thought he was going to say chemistry.
I was hoping he was going to say chemistry.
Oh, there are various ways that somebody might feel chemistry, you know. What is it that you're looking for in here? We don't have much time, I imagine.
Well, I need the locksmith's bane and a necklace.
Necklace.
And if I kill you, I can have them all.
I'm not killing this guy. This guy could be my future boyfriend.
Yeah, I was like,
I'll kill him with kindness.
does Bella remember Morthos tubes?
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to lie.
Lower priority, though.
I lost a lot of papers off my desk last week, and among them were like passwords to a bunch of websites, as well as the list of all of the items I was supposed to get. So I don't know what I'm supposed to get anymore.
I can help you out on that note then.
Okay.
Because I did have like one for every person in priority.
I remember you being moderately interested in the Candle of Anti-Light, potentially the Null Chalk, Locksmith's Bane.
I feel like Katie was trying to sell us on the Null Chalk.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think that was something that, like, I just didn't describe it very well. And so I, like, especially because that first room was kind of like the lesser items, I wanted to make sure you knew that this wasn't just like a really terrible item. It actually was really cool. But I think after like learning more about it, you thought it was cool, but I don't remember if that was out of character. So you may not have actually been interested in that. I think Bear was interested in the
a lot of stuff actually.
ring.
Storm sickle, I want to
I
say.
like the storm sickle. I like the
Ring of
ring there. You
roses.
could just pull flowers out of the air, but that's
Yeah.
not really. That's just because it's cool.
There was, let me scroll down.
This just like big burly chick with a bear wrapped around them, just like pulling a rose out.
Well, so I know for sure I was gonna get the locksmith's bane, the thing that Morthos needed,
Yeah,
and
trick
the
tubes.
necklace for Fergus. I was also gonna get the
Mhm.
cookbook for Cookie.
The edible book of recipes. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one thing for Becker's, and I don't even remember if I had anything picked out for Bella. It was for everybody else.
I think that
Aw.
she had kind of in the first room been like maybe the anti-light thing, but
Yeah.
I think
Right.
also there
But that's low on my priority list.
Yeah, there
Those three at
was-
bare minimum, basically, is your
Mhm.
minimum.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not leaving this place without the locksmith's bane.
Yeah.
That's what my neck is on. So like,
Right.
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. But the second is Bryce's item, or is Fergus's item.
I
Mhm.
myself would like
And then
the
Morthos.
necklace
The
from
reason for the heist, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember
That-
what it was
yeah.
that really caught your attention. Was it the enchantment breaker, the ring with the chains, and whenever a spell affects you? Wait, when you're affected by the spell
That
that
was cool,
restores
too.
hit points, such as cure wounds or healing word, you can use your reaction to attempt a saving throw against an enchantment spell. Was that the one that you really liked?
I don't remember.
That one sounded cool. I mean, it's not super important. I don't know how that's gonna go, I guess. I'm gonna make it out with as much as I can. So like I could totally give him a laundry list of all the things I need. If you would like, I can bore you to death, but that's pretty boring.
How about you take what you want and I'll grab everything else?
Yeah, like we could just make off with all of it, right? Like
How many times can you cast that dimension door?
You do know that you don't have a bag of holding, so you'll have to find a way to carry out anything that you take.
I've got a backpack.
Yeah, you have a backpack. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to carry it in like your hands, but
Sure.
there was like a whole set of armor and like a big.
Oh yeah, what was
shield
weird
and
about the
stuff, so-
armor?
The armor was.
What kind of armor was it?
It was called the Greaves of Dindalin. While wearing these greaves, you gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed and can stand on and move across any liquid surface as if it were solid ground. In addition, you can jump 3 times the normal distance, so you can't jump farther than your remaining movement would allow. That's not exactly how it was phrased on the thing.
Wow, now
or
we're just
whatever,
reeling learning what all the things do.
No, hold
Mhm.
on. What are
It was
they
like
not?
a flowerier definition. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Are they plate or are they leather or what are they called? Greaves of what?
Dindalin. It's a Griffin saddlebag item. They don't actually have an armor bonus, so they don't count as like light armor, whatever. They have like a skeletal appearance to them. But they're a wondrous magic item, so they're not actually like light, medium, or heavy armor at all, even though they're called greaves.
Would you be able to wear normal armor over them then?
Under them?
Okay.
I'll
It's like
take those two.
It's like an exosuit.
Kind of, yeah. Oh, and it looks like bones too, so.
That might be what he's after then. Because he's
Wasn't the shield something that sounded like
he
he
wanted
would
the
be?
shield.
Yeah.
well, I thought
Yeah, I think Bella even noticed like an eyebrow raise or something when looking at it.
Yeah, he had some kind of reaction when he saw the shield, whereas the whole rest of the time he had a poker face. So
I think that was specific. That shield was specifically for clerics too. So
something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said to him to get him to pull me into this door. Like, hey, you want that shield? He's like, yeah, I do, actually.
Actually, let's go. Yeah. So if Bella kind of like starts ticking off things on hand that they kind of want, then the Alotel he's like thoughtfully watching and says, I kind of thought the tricky tube things sounded interesting, but if you're after those, then I suppose I can leave those behind. what's your plan to get out of here? And as he says that, he kind of turns around and he opens up like a satchel at his waist and starts like scooping in things like from one of the smaller ones. The ring with the roses on it he leaves behind, and the candle is like nearby. But he takes the enchantment breaker, the dryad leaf, the bottled abyss, and then also looks like the essence of rage potion as well, and just kind of like starts tossing things in there.
How are you getting out of here?
Oh, by magic.
Oh, perfect. Is there any way I could snag a ride again?
Make yourself useful.
Sure. What's up? What can I do for you?
So the thing about this place is that I can move around a few times between walls and side, but I can't actually leave the place because of the nature of its construction. If I try to step outside through another door like we got into here, it just won't work. I imagine I'd try to walk through the doorway and I'd bounce back out or something. I'm not really sure what would happen, but I'm not going to try it. So, we're going to end up in the other room. And, what was your original plan, actually? How were you planning on getting into here?
Well,
Who needs plans? Plans are for poor people.
You know, there wasn't a great one.
There's this guy named Fergus, and he does.
See, this was supposed to be the gold vault? What do we, like, my thieves guild doesn't know what, fuck all, so.
Ooh.
Tell him you got people on the outside.
I mean, I do have a team, yeah.
Just be vague. Be vague.
I did ditch part of my team for you, so I don't know how they feel about me right now.
Here I am, supposed to be spreading misery and chaos everywhere I go, and yet I'm helping people. Ugh. They walk over to the, there's like a rack where the greaves and the shield, the aegis are, and the storm sickle as well. And the satchel barely fits the shield, but as he puts it in, it like disappears within obvious. So, yeah. And he just continues like basically like taking everything that he can like physically fit in there. The greaves don't look like they fold down as much as he was hoping, but he does eventually get them in there. And since you mentioned the sickle, he doesn't actually take that. So you have the opportunity to kind of grab whatever you want. And he's having this conversation as he's moving around very quickly to gather things. So what do you want to grab? And I mean, obviously I know the things you for sure want to grab. The necklace that matches the description of the one that was on display and the one that you believe to be Fergus's mother's necklace is also in the case that has the ring of roses and all that, but it seems to be in like, it's like in a case within a case, and it looks like the interior case is like its own little like glass looking lockbox. It's like you can see through the top of it to see in what it is, but it appears to be like closed in some kind of way. But you could just literally grab it and toss it in like a backpack, and you don't necessarily have to get it out right now because that's like a piece that looks like it could be picked up.
Yeah, I'll take the whole thing.
Okay.
And I might as well take the ring of roses.
If it's right there, just supermarket sweep that bitch.
Start trying to, like, I'll take all the things that are my priorities, but then if I have extra space, I'll take the things that he's not taking. Like,
Okay.
Might as well clear them out.
For real.
While you're here.
Yeah.
I think with the space that you would have left over in like your backpack and with like little things that you could shove into pockets or whatever, the only issues you might have after sticking the candle and the big cookbook thing in your backpack, the sickle definitely won't fit. So you would have to carry that out if you're going to take that.
No, I can strap it to my belt.
Okay, that works. And then keeping in mind, of course, that means that someone will see it on the way out is the only thing. So if
She'll
that's
make
fine
sure
with
they
you,
see
that's
it.
fine with you. Make sure they see it. There was also the...
I got a cloak in here somewhere. I'll just...
Is that a sickle in
Not
your
sus.
cloak, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh my gosh. I don't think there actually was a cloak. There was not a single cloak in
Shoot.
the whole collection. Yeah. Now, if you have your own, obviously, you could throw that on and try to like keep that hidden under it, because the way cloaks are kind of manufactured. He has swept up all the armor at this point. There was also the moon swaddled armor, which I forgot, which gives you some kind of bonus at night, if I remember correctly.
Oh, boo.
So you are able to grab all of the items that you described to him. He was moving rather quickly and greedily. It's almost surprising, or not even almost, it's very surprising that based on his like actions that he was willing to even kind of like share, it almost seems. But he doesn't seem to scoop up the unicorn snuggle beast.
Oh,
Cute,
yeah.
Mine.
Okay. Or the wisp light lantern, which I think with the candle and the book could just barely fit in your backpack on top of everything else, because it's the size of like a full lantern. If you wanted to hide it, of course, you could also put that on your belt as well and just be really noisy.
What was the description of that one?
The wisp light lantern was...
It's the will of the
The
wisp.
dark
thing.
hooded lantern glows with a magical blue flame and can reveal the demise of a creature no longer among the living.
I don't remember if you knew exactly all of that.
No, I
Yeah,
just
that wasn't in the
Googled
description.
it.
You just Googled it. But it's like the size, maybe a little bit larger than like a bullseye lantern, like a normal sized one, except it's very ornate, and there is a bit of like a blue glow coming from inside. Point of fact, didn't have to Google it because Griffin's saddlebag is material that is owned, but
It's certainly easier to use Google sometimes than flipping through a book.
oh yeah, for sure. That was more for like the recording, like FYI. We didn't just like Google it and take it.
And if you want to add these magical items to your game, you can get them at griffinsaddlebag.com.
They have a Patreon.
Ah, there you go.
Hashtag ad.
So you can
Reddit.
use an action to reduce the light's reach or cover it completely. So you can turn it off simply by like wishing it to do so, and it doesn't look like it requires attunement. So if you pick that up and mess with it, and you think like basically like I wonder if this thing turns off, then it can turn off. And then aside from that, what he doesn't take, I started like counting basically while he was talking. He does leave behind the hair combs,
Done.
and that's it. Aside from what you wanted, that's the other thing that he leaves behind.
I want those two.
Okay, so he's literally like you said, supermarket sweeping things into bags and shoving them in there, and you're able to kind of go behind and scoop up everything else. Once you have kind of cleaned the place out, he comes and he grabs your arm. He casts the spell that you saw him cast before again, and kind of pulls you through the doorway. And you find yourself back in the room with the violet scepter.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the one thing that you did not see inside of here. That was the one thing in the entire collection that did not appear to be in this room, on the shelves, in the cases, etc., etc. There weren't like crates in this room where things were like tucked away. Everything was kind of like on display in like a very normal way. It was like out in the open where you could see it, or on like armor statuettes and things like that. And he moves very quickly, like remarkably quickly. Definitely very like deft and agile sort of person. So you appear back here in the main room with the violet scepter. And at that point, we will go over to Cookie, standing outside the door. You've seen many of your friends go inside and are waiting outside, however anxiously you decide, of course. And after a few moments, long enough to start to worry, enough time has passed that it's just starting to get to that point where there's anxiety kind of bubbling up, and it's starting to, you're getting that feeling in your stomach, like oh God, like where are they at? And the door bursts open, and out comes Stacy and 2 city guards. The door is quickly closed behind them. It was opened so quickly that the person who was barely holding themselves together, standing outside, who let everyone in, is quite surprised by it. I don't remember if Cookie has seen anyone enter or exit here. I think they might have, but there's usually a bit of like a ceremony to it. Like
she
like
saw.
notifying.
When Fergus and Morthos were disguised, they did go in, and she was outside because Rico's
That's
like,
right.
"You can't come in, Cherry." Yeah.
Yeah. And so normally there's like communication going on. And so obviously this is just a very sort of like different situation. Things are a bit more hectic right now.
Mm-hmm.
They come bursting out, and Stacy is making a beeline down the stairs after closing the door behind the 2 of them.
I was about to say, can Cookie try and slip her way in? But if she closed it right away,
She would definitely be trying to close it as soon as the 2 guards came out. Now, if okay, so the door swings open. The person outside is a little bit startled and taken aback, turns and looks behind them and sees Stacy. Stacy takes a few steps out the door, swings it open, gestures for them to come like very emphatically, and the 2 of you, Morthos and Fergus, step out the door, and you see Cookie standing there. So if you have this thought of trying to want to slip in Cookie, and you want to try to let them know this, then you have the opportunity to do so. Tell me how you might try to either slip around unnoticed while she's kind of like very intent on making sure this door stays closed. If you have like magic that lets you like turn invisible or something like that. Or if you want to like signal to them to try to like...
I think Fergus would want to get her in there anyway. So Fergus would already, if he sees her there and there's any sort of opportunity for that to happen, he would be looking for an opening or just on his own. So she doesn't necessarily have to like signal. He would like see an open door and go like, hey, this is literally, I'm trying to get her into the collection. So
Okay. So what I imagine happening is Cookie's having this intention of wanting to slip in anyway, and you 2 step out, and there's that moment where you look at each other and you just kind of like know that you're wanting to trade places. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how I pictured it too.
Okay, sure, yeah. And stop me at any point if you want to like react to the environment, obviously. So what actions do the 3 of you take then at that moment? Morthos, if you want to get involved, like if you've had this thought as well, to try to orchestrate this, because Stacy is moving quickly. She is walking with purpose. She has gestured quickly. And as you're like starting to walk out the door, she's holding it with both hands ready to kind of close it, is where you're at currently. So what could you do in the next few moments?
I think Fergus is gonna like look at her, quickly look at the door. That I think he's trying to like take a half step too long in the door to like hold it open, as he does, and then he like quickly taps on his leg to signal Rascal to bark, and he like gestures out towards the casino floor and is like, "What's that?" and hopes to like gather their people's attention away from the door with that move.
Okay. Let's see, to distract in this way. Let's do a couple of things. Do a sleight of hand to see if you can tap without her noticing.
16.
Okay. And then do a deception check.
Out of curiosity, Morthos, are you trying to do anything?
So yeah, go ahead. Tell me if Morthos is kind of like in the frame of mind of like, there's Cookie, we need to get her inside.
Yeah, I don't know that he is.
Okay.
But I think his action would be a reaction to Fergus's action, right? So
and what's your passive perception?
10.
Okay, you wouldn't have noticed the tap, but you'll have the opportunity to react after Fergus does the "what's that?" Let's see how convincing Fergus is.
Deception.
Yes, please.
And that's a 19.
Ooh.
Okay. So the door bursts open. You take a half second longer in the threshold than you should, and you point out, what's that, to a space in the casino. Rascal barks. And how do you want to add to this, Morthos and or Cookie?
There's another person, right? Another like guard standing there.
Mm-hmm. Who's just looking miserable.
I think Morthos is going to, I'm going to intentionally like kind of shoulder bump into him as I'm reacting. Like, Fergus said, "What's that?" I look back towards him, but I just kind of shoulder the guy as I'm walking forward.
So cause a ruckus as you're like exploding out to see what that is, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm a city guard. I'm responding, and
Gotcha. Okay, I love it. And then Cookie, you can contribute to this, or you can try to look like to kind of like fade into the background while they're paying attention. What is your intention here?
I think Cookie would maybe cast minor illusion to like make like a crashing sound or something to make it a little more convincing and pressing, like across the room.
Okay. What's the range on minor illusion? 30 feet, I think.
Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay, so I think you could.
So however long 30 feet is from where she's at.
I'll move you over to the main floor really quick. You should be there now. So 30 feet from the door roughly, or kind of like right outside it. Yeah, it could easily be down, especially by like the big tables where she also couldn't see from like the point that you are kind of close to the door back here.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have a somatic component to it, to the S? V, M, and S? What does it have?
For components, it just says S and M.
Okay, so there's no verbal, so that's good. You do have to, there are hand movements involved in this spell. Yeah, because if she had to say something, then it's, but there are hand motions. Now you can try to do those discreetly if you want to do like a sleight of hand check for me really quick, or describe how else you, you could also do like stealth if you're trying to like, either one of those I would accept as a way to like hide your spellcasting behind like normal gesticulation, like turning around or something like that.
I think she'll do sleight of hand and just try and be real subtle with the hand movements that need to be done for it.
Okay.
I kind of picture the hand movements being something like the magicians, they have the like yeah which like looks weird, but it's a deal like you could kind of like tuck that behind your butt.
She got a 9.
So Fergus points. Morthos comes bursting out. The guard that you shoulder check just kind of like smacks against the wall and winces, and then they double over and kind of grab their stomach, and there's a little bit of like a sound. There's no actual vomit, but they definitely like are having a hard time over there. Stacy looks to the guard, looks out where Fergus is pointing. There's the sound of, you said something like crashing, like breaking.
Yeah,
like
that.
Like glass or like wood.
I was thinking wood.
Wood, okay, like a table or a chair or something.
Yeah.
So if she is standing like right here holding the door that swings, oh no, the door goes inward. That's right, actually. The door goes inward. So she has like opened it up and stepped through and was waiting to close it, and you two have burst out now. She'll have to turn and like reach in to pull it. So since the door isn't actually in your way, and like you'd have to step around it way, you can at this point, she has looked in, like she has seen that you are there in general in this space, right? But she has now drawn her attention like straight out to the floor. So if you want to try to like melt into the background and slip in there, unaware to Stacy and to the having a really bad time guard, then you can now make a stealth check. Or tell me what other method in which you would want to do it.
No, I think that's exactly what she wants to do, yeah.
Okay.
What's the name of the sick guard?
Aphelios.
Aphelios. Oh, old Alfie. God, can't hold his brownies.
Cookie got a 14 on stealth.
Okay.
I think Morthos would say something like, "Look alive, man." Or something when he-
Get it together.
yeah. There's something going on.
Could any of these actions give her the help give her advantage?
You know what? Yeah, actually, go ahead and roll with advantage first of all. Yeah, do that.
For just stealth?
Yeah, for the stealth.
Okay.
I meant to say that and I forgot.
17 for the second roll.
Okay. So you seize this opportunity. The one guard has kind of been pushed against the wall and they're kind of doubled over and looking away. The bodies of Fergus and Morthos are interposed kind of between you and that guard who's kind of against the wall here. And Stacy is off to this side. So since you were kind of out here waiting, you take this opportunity and you try to slide in between basically Fergus and Morthos. That's the pathway where you're not walking by directly either of them. And as she's looking out and she's attent to this, there's these few seconds where you're able to slide into the door. It doesn't seem like either of them have noticed you just yet. And you can curve around to the other side of the door, basically flip around behind it so that you are in the room inside where the collection would be.
Mm-hmm.
And Stacy looks back to the door, grabs it, yanks it closed. And that's the end of what you see. And now you are standing in this foyer that doesn't have anything in it but a light and several open doors.
Okay.
Fergus and Morthos, you knew what was going on. So you were obviously trying not to draw attention to Cookie, but were trying to also help her get in.
Yeah.
And she has slid between the two of you, and Stacy doesn't seem to react when she turns to close the door and strides across the room to look down over the banister really quickly.
Fergus definitely nudges her a little bit and goes let's go, and starts making his way down towards where he was pointing and stuff.
Okay.
Pulling her away from the door area.
Okay. There's a moment of confusion as she looks over. She looks back at you and is obviously confused about something. She kind of glances around her and then starts walking.
It doesn't really help us, but wasn't there? It was her and two clerics, wasn't it?
You don't know where they were because they have left already.
Oh, okay, so they left first, and then it was Stacy.
Was there two or there was?
I thought
one?
there were two.
Yeah,
Okay, there were two then. So they.
There were zero. Ooh,
There were
they're
zero.
gone, and we win.
It was a month ago. We don't remember.
I know, right? So they, I believe, were there initially in the first room, and then as the tour went on, they separated themselves from the rest of the tour.
Okay, I thought what you had said last episode was that Stacy plus the clerics were escorting us to the vault.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I knew it was different. So they started out of the room with you last episode.
Yeah, I mean, they could have been the first ones out. If
They did not, when you emerged, so there's a thought. By the time you reached the front door, they were no longer with you. The door, to the casino.
Okay.
So where they have gone in there, I guess if you were paying attention to where they went, go ahead and make a perception check, both of you, retroactively.
Sure. 21.
4.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Morthos always be in the dark.
He can't see very good from up there.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a point as you were all hurrying towards the main door that goes back out to the casino floor, where you saw one of them step into one of the side rooms of the collection.
Oh, okay. One of them,
Mm-hmm.
but not the other.
Not sure where. Well, the other one's gone too, but when you only saw the one kind of making a turn in there.
Okay.
So when you enter in, Cookie, when the door closes behind you, you are in this foyer, the door to your left is open, the door immediately in front of you, like across the room, is open, but the door to your right is closed.
Okay. I think she'll try and listen to see what direction Bear and everyone is. So can she hear them talking anywhere?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
19.
Okay. You hear the last few words of a feminine voice that sounds confused. And although you can't exactly place it, you hear a few quick footsteps after that. There have been about 6 paces and you still don't see anyone. If you want to stand there and wait to see who is coming, you can. Or if you want to hide yourself to see who it is first, you can do that too. Because you're not supposed to be back here. Mm-hmm. So you would. There's been a couple of seconds between the sound of the voice fading and the couple of footfalls of heavy feet on the tile kind of thing. So you have a second to react. What do you do?
Are they coming towards me? Are they getting louder?
It sounds like the voice and the footsteps are coming directly from in front of you. And the footsteps, after a few paces, it's kind of hard to tell, but it seems invincible. It's easier to brace yourself against the door than to try to hold it closed against somebody pulling it. So you slip in and kind of spin around behind the door. Are you going to watch to see who comes?
Yes.
Then make a stealth check for me really quick to see how well you can kind of keep an eye while not being noticed.
19 for stealth.
Okay. So,
Dang.
I know, right? Bards. The steps, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're louder. They're hurried. You detect a hint of a metal touching the tile when they're not walking onto the carpet. And you see Rico emerge from that door, hurriedly walking. And so this door opens on the top hinge right here. So if you're hiding behind the door, you would basically be peeking around the bottom side of it. Or if you're hiding behind this wall, you would be peeking through the open space. Do you think you're behind the door or do you think you're at the wall?
I see her being behind the door, peeking through the little gap.
Okay. So you see Rico emerge. He takes 1, 2, 3 steps. He's about halfway across the room and he stops and looks over in your direction. How do you react?
She freezes and does nothing.
Rico can only see you if you move.
Yeah, if it's deer in headlights,
his visual acuity is based on movement. So he stops, he freezes, he looks in your direction, and there's this moment where you can tell that he is looking into your eyes, basically, not looking into your eyes, but you make a second of eye contact, and he just kind of looks forward and keeps walking out the door.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
Rico unfortunately rolled a natural 20 on his perception.
Yeah.
Oh.
And since he's on high alert, he's watching.
So he saw you.
I was thinking it was the floor alarm lines or something, and it was he knew.
Because she didn't move she didn't move the wrong direction for that. So she stepped behind the door. So she was in the like space that you would have to be able to walk through to get from the door to the carpeted area and the like, and stay inside the line kind of thing. He happened to roll a natural 20 on his I'm on alert walking on my way out perception check. But he seems to have left.
Yeah, it's like he just left me there?
Yeah, the outcome of that is that
He
remains
likes
to be seen.
you.
Nope.
I don't know how to make of that, but Cookie is just going to be like, okay. Did he leave the door open?
He closed the door.
I meant the door he like came out of. He did close that one.
That door is still open.
It is still open? Okay.
Yeah, he walked out the main, like the entry door. He walked out that and like slammed it closed on us.
Okay.
It was a very hurried action after that.
Oh.
Like the pause was just a second. He broke stride for a moment. He looked over and you got the like the very distinct feeling that he's looking directly at you. And then he continued taking a few steps, opened the door, and exited and closed it very quickly.
Well, there's two possible things that could mean. Either A, the entrance to the collection is not through the where the Violet Scepter is, because Rico's supposed to go see about that. Or the worst option, Rico's going to go get guards.
Go get backup.
Yeah. Now let's find out.
That remains to be seen.
Or Rico was like, "Oh, it's Cookie. I'm gonna leave." Cool.
It's like, I'm going home.
Yeah.
This is a bad fucking day. It's not. You know
I
what?
hate
That
this.
union guy was right. This shit sucks.
I am not compensated well enough for this.
I'm gonna go downstairs and join the union.
I love it. So, Fergus and Morthos, you are with Stacy, heading very quickly behind her. She begins to, make an insight check, actually. Both of you.
19.
Did mine go?
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
Nat.
Nat 20. I thought that was yours for some reason.
No.
That's a nat 20.
It is a nat 20.
Heyo. Stacy suddenly her sense of purpose and her pace doesn't necessarily drop, but instead of looking alert and not panicked, but instead of looking on alert as much as she did before, there seems to be kind of like a false calm to her. Like she's trying not to make anybody worry any more than they already are, or cause like a stampede out or anything like that. But she is very quickly and purposefully moving through this crowd of people and begins to head towards the stairs that go down to the main floor with the lobby and whatnot.
I think Fergus made his way towards where he kind of pointed, but almost like he kind of like looks at it, that area, then looks back at what's her name? The chick?
Stacy.
Stacy. I want to call her Sandy for a second. Stacy.
As soon as you asked me, my mind blanked, and I was like, I literally just said it.
Yeah.
What's happening? Anyway,
he looks back at Stacy and then kind of like takes her cue on where like the vault is. Like it starts following her because he's like, I want to look there to help sell the like I'm not doing shit for just shit's sake, but it's like okay, but we're here for the vault. Let's go where you want to go.
Okay. So you are able to follow her across the room and start heading down to the stairs to the main lobby. Cookie Reek has left, and you're not sure where he's going or for what purpose, although you can guess like generally what the purpose is, obviously. Mm-hmm. What do you do after he leaves?
More brownies. No, more bread pudding.
She is going to sneakily go through the door he just came out of and make her way down that hall.
Okay. So you lightly pad down that hallway and you hear Fren's voice, who you know very well, talking. He sounds strained. He sounds agitated. And he's expressing frustration while asking some questions. And you reach the edge of the door frame if you want to go that far. Like you head through this room with all these items, and then you can make it into this room with all these items. You still don't see him. And you hear him ask, "And where is it you are from again?" Bear.
Outside.
I'm not from. I don't
I was
live here.
literally a bear.
If you're asking, I'm not.
I think I'm wasting my time here. I need to go and see what's going on. Come with me. We need to leave. And he starts taking a few steps towards the door. He's walking like quickly, but this is also a person who's not like ready to chase somebody down with like a sword or anything. So he's taking like normal steps. He's not like running or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So you hear the tail end of this conversation. You hear him say like, "Come with me," basically, Cookie, and you can react. Tell me how you react so I know what it looks like when they come through.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. She knows that they have to stay. They have to try and like stay where they are. So I think she's going to try and cast something on Fren to like immobile to like buy us a little more time.
Okay.
Oh, what are you gonna cast?
So knowing what Cookie knows about her spells, obviously,
Yes,
she can cast something on Fren to see like how that pans out.
yeah.
Also, because you have minor illusion, one of the things that you can do, and I'm not like telling you what you should do.
Mhm.
Like we're all still like new at this, and we're getting used to our characters and stuff.
Right.
So minor illusion allows you to fill a space that is up to 5 feet. Or to put something into a space that is up to 5 foot cubed. It can fill like one space on the battlefield, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So something that you could do if you don't actually want to interact with your friend I said friend because you kept calling him friend. Friend. If you don't actually want to interact with friend at all, then you could try to minor illusion the facade of like an empty space in one of the corridors and hope that basically if you stand in like a corner and you minor illusion the corner, you could hope that he doesn't notice that it's an illusion, that you're just kind of hiding behind it kind of thing. Like if he doesn't pass through it, or you can interact with him directly. And Cookie would know that. So you have whatever option seems best to you. So if you are going to want to interact with him, that's totally fine. Just making sure that you know like what your options are.
No,
based on
that's
what
great because I didn't know minor illusion. You could do that with it. So that's really, really good. Because I was thinking either minor illusion or I also do know Tasha's hideous laughter. So, which can knock
That's
him
true.
prone technically.
I feel like at that point you're just having a fight with him.
I know, that's a thing.
And like I feel like Cookie would know that charming him would be short term, and he would know afterwards. And Cookie would know that Tasha's hideous laughter, I think, also would cause him damage, and so like it might actually outright kill him. For instance,
does it really?
Well, it does like what 3d6, right? What does Tasha's do?
A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if the spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand up for the duration. A creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected.
Oh, I guess I was thinking of something else.
Yeah.
But okay, so you have both of those as options. So if you want to try to position yourself in a way where you see him before he sees you and try to cast the spell so that he doesn't necessarily know the like origins of it. Or if you want to stand right in the hallway and do that, you can. If you want to try to hide with like a minor illusion, you can. It's totally up to you.
I think I'm going to try the Tasha's hideous laughter because I just kind of want to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, do you want to try to do it where he can see you or no?
I'm going to say if I can still cast it where he can't see me, then that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, because the each door obviously has like a little bit of a side to it. So if he rounds the corner and starts walking out, like there's going to be a point where a part of him is coming out the door, hand, arm, whatever, before he can actually see around like the side of the door. Especially because they open inward. So his view of like this corner specifically would be pretty obscured because he has to walk around that and over here before he can even like begin to like look at what's over there. So if you want to do it without seeing, then we'll assume that you kind of slide into that corner, knowing how your spell works and seeing the like line of sight here.
Okay.
Critical thinking kind of thing. And go ahead. So I'm making a wisdom save.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. What's your DC?
It says the attack save is wisdom 12.
Okay. So you cast a spell. And you feel the magic like make a connection with your target, and you feel the link break. Roll a percentile die for me.
I rolled a 66.
And Bear, what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 9.
Okay.
I'm not a
So-
smart bear.
There's this moment where Fren, walking out ahead of you and having gestured for you to follow. I assume you follow Bear, right? Still trying to kind of act dumbfounded or what have you.
Yeah.
Fren is walking with a brisk pace, like poised but with a brisk pace and looking very frustrated. They start to round the door that is open inward, and they stop for just a moment and look confused and turn and look at you and shake their head and like quickly peek around the side of the door. And you have just a second before you see the body stop moving, like Fred. And there's like a moment where they pause and you can't exactly see what they're doing with their head. But then they come and they look around the side of the door. You wouldn't be able to get far if you tried to move. So if you just want to stand there, then you can look however you would like to look, like surprised, afraid, whatever. But there's a few seconds for you to kind of like react to this situation, Cookie, before Fren sees you. Is there anything in particular you want to be doing? You can't like cast another spell or anything.
No.
It's more like body posture or something. Maybe like a bonus action if you had something you wanted to do. I don't know all of your spells, so I'm just giving you opportunity.
No,
okay.
I don't think there's anything I can really do
Okay.
in that time.
That's fine. Stride breaks. Fren, Bear, you see Fren kind of look back at you with like a confused and like frustration is turned to anger at this point look. And then you see the like anger shift kind of like away from you as they turn and they look around the side of the door. And Fren peeks around the side of the door and looks at you, Cookie, and is just like silent for a moment, looking like confused and angry before they say, "What are you doing back here?"
The guards told me that to come get you. The city
Make a
watch
persuasion.
guards.
With disadvantage.
Yeah. Persuasion, you said?
Because that was a bad one, or why disadvantage?
Because he knows somebody just tried to cast a spell on him is the disadvantage. Like something happened that he had to resist, and there's a lot going on right
And
now.
I'm just going to remind you, you have a luck point.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Well, yeah, because it was a 12 and then a 23, so I would have to take the 12 on that.
Okay.
I'm like, do I want to use my luck point, though?
So you say this, and you see, instead of like a look of acceptance on his face, you see like severe suspicion. If you want to use your luck point at this point to try to sway the fates and roll again to try to have a better roll in that 12, you can, but you don't have to.
It's like, Bear, knock him out.
Absolutely don't have to.
Yeah,
up to
I
you.
guess I'll use it. Might as well use it. Like,
Okay.
I've been holding on to it for a bit, so
And it's going to hold on to it till the final boss fight.
forever. So I just get one more reroll. That's all.
Yeah, just roll one
Okay.
more time. It'll take the place of the 12.
A dirty 20.
Okay. And keep in mind too, there are still some boons that were gifted left over from the charity game that haven't actually like come to fruition in game yet. So sometimes things seem like maybe they shouldn't work out and they do, or they should work out and they don't, or whatever. So there are still things that I'm like applying leftover from ways that people have impacted us that like we couldn't see at that time because we ran out of time and just couldn't fit all of the material in, kind of thing. So this look of suspicion, he looks at you, he like regards you for a moment, studying you, and begins to look even more like stern. And then his features soften for a bit, and he kind of like strokes the brow bone, the like ridges above his eye again, and says, "What for? What do they want you to help with exactly?"
Well, I was just there, and they told me just to come get you to meet them at the place where they're going.
Okay. So, Fergus and Morthos, you follow Stacy down the stairs through the east wing of the sort of like lobby area that heads back to the central point in the like cross shape that it is. And Stacy makes a turn towards where the like cashiers are. And there is like one single very heavily armored guard kind of like at a back wall that looks like it leads to nothing. And she is making quick strides down this hallway. There's a point where she stops and she looks over her shoulder at the two of you. How closely are you following her?
I think like I'm just like a step behind her, like
I'd say trying to keep pace.
Yeah, I think it's like I'm trying to match her with level of authority while still not knowing where I'm going.
Okay. She looks over at the two of you and she does like a head nod, like follow me. And she starts making, she kind of like picks up the pace and starts kind of like jogging a bit. And it looks like she's heading straight towards the wall. For visual, we'll switch over really quick to the
For visual, we're going to switch to a picture of a wall so you can visualize it.
So she has rounded, here's the central point. She rounds the corner. I
want to clarify, the strikers, the Union people, should be in this zone.
The strikers were kind of trying to push their way in, but right here is a whole crowd of people who were celebrating Bear. So you enter into a similarly like raucous scene. It just looks like a mob. It's kind of hard to determine
who's
from
who?
her point of view what is even going on here, but she's on a mission at this point. From her
There's
perspective,
just like chaos at this point. Yeah.
The whole thing is chaos, and from her perspective, somebody who seems to be knowledgeable and with the guard and not sick is telling her that something's wrong and she might have help, right? So she continues down the back of this hallway,
like we're
not
her new
breaking
best
stride.
friends.
And she stops for just a moment right here. She reaches up and places a hand on the back of this like guard or what have you. And you both of you go ahead and make a quick perception check.
Oh my god. Both of us rolled a nat 1. I got a 3 total. And Nat.
Uh-oh.
I got a 1. Natural.
Perfect.
I went from nat 20 to nat 1.
Also, just for shits, I rolled a perception check for Rascal. He got a dirty 20.
Oh, good to know.
Good to know. Rascal, whatever is to be perceived, Rascal perceives it. He can tell us what he knows, but he knows something.
Yeah. So she pauses just for a moment mid-run to reach around behind this guard and do something, and then she continues walking and disappears through the wall.
And we act like babies playing peekaboo, and we're just like, what just happened?
No, we just kind of like look at each other, going like, "Did we get something?" And I think like Fergus just kind of like sticks out his hand towards where they last saw them, like,
Into the space or into the wall?
Like I feel like into the space, and then like slowly starts moving forward, just kind of like, "Are you? Hello?"
Okay. So you are reaching out into this space.
Yeah.
And reaching towards this wall and calling out to them.
Yeah.
So, Bella, you step through and you find yourself in the room that contains the violet scepter. And again, that's the one item that you did not see in the back room. As you step through, kind of you are behind the line that you know to be important. I'm going to move you back to that place, that page really quick. You basically appear like right here. You know, the line is over here. So you appear on the side that the scepter is on.
And I'm not immediately just in instant pain or anything?
Mm-mm.
Cool.
What is your passive perception?
13.
Okay. Do you think Bella would survey her surroundings the minute that she kind of like appeared in this room again? You did already ask me if you felt pain, so go ahead and make a perception check for me. I try to make sure that passive is being used very often.
I rolled a 15.
Okay. There seems to be, like, there's just a bit of movement by the door. But whatever it was that moved seems to have been, like, leaving the room. There's a shadow or a bit of a heel or something that happened. There was movement that was leaving the room. You look up, you don't see anybody there. But it looks like you saw somebody exit or maybe some commotion outside that caused, like, a shadow or something that drew your attention. As this is occurring, Alotel reaches over, grabs the violet scepter, and enters that into the space where the line is at, and looks over at you and just puts his hand on the small of your back and pushes you over the line.
Okay.
Do you want to resist?
No.
Okay.
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Right? He moves you forward. You walk over the line and nothing happens. Why? You can try to discern, but at this point, you think everything's fine. He steps through. As he walks through, he kind of like is flipping the scepter around to almost like be a barrier over that line. Steps through, pulls it back with him.
So he has the scepter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about that?
Not a lot. It's a key. That I know. He reaches over, like, behind him, kind of like while looking at you still, and not even looking at where he's reaching, passes over the line, and, like, holds it near the wall at that space where you saw that, like, something was weird, right? That's kind of, like, right in front of where you appeared, and you knew something was up with it, but you couldn't really tell, like, what, and he holds it by the wall, and, like, it's unclear whether he's like actually doing something or just holding it there, but that's the point at which there's like a separation, as if like a false wall that was like locked and held into place kind of like breaks seal. And you see like a crease or a crack, like a very slight one, appear up in the wall. And he just kind of like,
wild.
I know it's a key. I don't know what else it might do. He stuffs that into the bag of holding, where like the handle is all the way in and the actual scepter part of it is just kind of like poking out to the top, and he starts making his way to the door.
Are you trapped in here by your deity, or am I going to be met with the same resistance that you would be leaving the building?
Oh, I think it's just magic. I'm not like some vengeful spirit or something. He has some sort of protection. I don't know. These things are quite valuable. A lot of them are, anyway. Some of them are
the
a bit trash,
collector. You're talking about the collector.
Yes. Well, anyone who has something of value is going to. I mean, I'm pretty amazing, but there are people more powerful than me, and being able to move between walls is something pretty common for a caster. At which point, every person in the world's entire treasure would be subject to thievery constantly, unless they could protect teleportation. So
where are you going?
Out the door. We have to walk out the front door still. And he kind of like, he gives you this like wry smile that's almost very like, there's like a flash of mischief in his eyes. It's obviously like a very rehearsed smile, and it's very like attractive. The curl of his like the corners of his lip curl up, and he has like very nice teeth. As he's looking at you, he like waves his hand over his face, and his hair turns blonde and curly, and his skin darkens, and his clothing changes appearance, and the bag that he was holding seems to disappear. Do you know any spells?
No, just message.
Okay. There's definitely some sort of magic going on. Definitely some sort of magic going on. Oh, and his eyes turn a violet color that matches the scepter. And he kind of like points to it and like winks at you and starts heading towards the door to exit to like the foyer. Spending a little bit of time with him, if you're not super familiar with magic, it's not necessarily clear what kind of power it takes to do everything he's doing, but he does seem to be very knowledgeable and skilled.
High level.
So much so that, yeah, he perhaps might be a higher level than you, if we were to speak mechanically.
If this was some sort of game, you might have leveled up at some point.
He begins striding towards the door. Is this something that like Bella would be impressed by? He's definitely like not trying to be impressive in like a it doesn't look like he's particularly trying to be like impressive to you specifically, more like he generally enjoys like make an insight check. Actually.
All right.
He's the gentleman thief from the hit anime My Hero Academia.
I rolled a 14.
He looks like he's maybe a little full of himself, but perhaps less being full of himself, more very like self-assured, and he's quite enjoying what's going on, and he certainly enjoys provoking people.
Well, he's definitely confident.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's definitely attractive. So
Okay. So he takes a few steps towards the door. He turns and he reaches like a hand back for you, like finger wavy to like reach out for your hand kind of thing.
I'll grab it.
Okay. And he starts to sweep you towards the door. He pauses for just a moment, listening.
Belladonna seems to have completely forgot that she was here with a group. And
Yeah, she's just like, where are we
My
going?
group's not in this room.
yes,
Yeah.
but it's a deal of like, shouldn't you go help find your group and figure out what's going
I
on?
don't know. I think
I mean, there's
Fergus would
only
be
one way for
falling
her
for
to
this
get
guy
out here.
too.
Yeah, I've been in here before. I know there's another room next, and I know there's a bigger room after that. Like, there's plenty of time to find the group.
Oh.
I don't know where they are, but I know they're not behind me, so I might as well continue following the cleric.
And he rolled a 23 on his persuasion check.
Mm.
And he's being very
I'm-
charming.
He's
definitely
very cool.
attracted to him, so like, let's go.
Yeah. So he
What
pauses for
group?
just a moment. What a
Yeah.
group. Listening at the door. And he he takes your hand and he kind of like flips it around where he's holding it like this and kind of pulls you back away from the door a bit behind him and does like one of these, right? So
For the audio listeners, she did it. She put her finger up to her lips like a whispered signal.
going back to Cookie and Fren and Bear, there's that moment where Fren is like, I don't know what you're doing here or why they sent you, but let's go.
Okay.
Cookie, if you are trying to like, you do see, as he takes a few steps forward, like Bear coming around the like way behind him. So if you want to try to do like a look at big weapon, look at Fred sort of thing, you totally can. Because I know you had that like Bear, knock him out kind of thing. So if you want to do something like that, you can, but he has stepped in front of, or he's like walking towards stepping in front of you with the intent of leading you two out.
Okay, I think Cookie would let him step in front of her, and when Bear comes around the corner, she'll like be standing side by side of Bear, and she'll kind of look and be like, grab her hand and just kind of like do a knock him over the head symbol. Because Cookie has like a -1 in strength, so she can't do it. So
All right,
Okay.
Bear.
Okay. Bear's gonna punch him in the head.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Are you I think unarmed strike's on your character sheet. So make an
Yes.
unarmed strike roll. Striked? Unarmed strike.
I rolled a 19 for the hit, and then it does 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'm not raging. I can't.
Yeah. He you reach out, you punch him right in the back of the head. There is a connective sound that you can hear as well, Cookie. It doesn't sound like the shattering of bone or anything, but this very sort of like prim and poised and frustrated and quick-moving dragonborn knees buckle and they fall over forward. Kind of hand goes up. One hand goes up to the back of the head and the other one hits the floor. And they definitely have a dazed look about them. Knocking someone out with a punch is something that's kind of like Hollywoodish, but in a world like this, when you're doing like 3 points of damage to a person who probably doesn't even have 3 like hit points, and these are like, it's blunt force at least, it's not like you're stabbing them. He kind of like does like a few like crawling sort of movements before he just kind of slowly lays down and like it looks like his strength kind of collapses as he's like closer to the floor. So he didn't just like fall over unconscious, but there was like this dazed moment and then like the loss of consciousness. He took a pretty good smack to the head.
He's alive though, right?
If you stand and watch him for a second, he does continue breathing.
Oh, good.
Cookie's like, oh no, I took it too far. I made her kill a guy.
And unless Bear intended on killing him, you can choose to hit somebody and not murder them. And I assume, like, because you chose to punch them, not like impale them with your greatsword, unless your intent was to murder them, then this was like a hefty punch intended to knock someone out.
Okay.
Who you see as being like weak, like a weak, like prim person, if that makes sense.
I think, hold on. Let me check my inventory super quick.
I was like, do we have any rope to tie him up? I don't want him coming back later.
Sure, like,
I'm thinking too.
Everybody starts with rope.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have. It says I have 50 feet of rope.
Okay, that's good because I don't think I do. So let's tie him up.
Was
I
he
wanna
the
hog tie
guy who
him.
was unlocking doors?
Fren?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he's got.
I want to tie him up and rob him.
Grab him?
Rob him. Whatever he's got.
Oh, rob him. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. So if one of you has rope?
Yeah, I do.
It seems like
I can
Bear
use my
has
rope.
rope. So
Apparently, it's
okay,
in there.
Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay.
Okay.
So you reach back, you find some rope. You're able to. What is your dex score? Just your score. You don't have to roll.
I
think it's pretty.
It says 15
decent.
plus 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine.
I don't know. What that
So, so 15 is your score and 2 is your modifier.
means. Okay.
So, so you're a person who has like swift enough reflexes and like good hands and things like that. Like you can easily tie restraints that somebody can't like quickly get out of, sort of thing. There's not like a rope check, but if someone's like a sorcerer with like a 7 dexterity, then it might be easier for them to get out of, kind of thing. Is what I was thinking. Swiftly take the time to restrain him. And you start rifling through pockets. It doesn't look like he has a whole lot on him, like on his person right now. You do find 6 gold, 10
I'll add that to my
copper,
bag.
and 2 silver. Okay. Go ahead and so Bear starts rifling through pockets. The money is easy to find. You can make an investigation check, Bear. And as you see Bear kind of rifling through pockets, you can either also rifle through pockets or you can help Bear rifle through pockets. Cookie, up to you.
Well, Bear rolled a 19 on investigation.
I think Cookie's just gonna let her do her thing because she's not really interested in robbing from Fren. But once she's done, and Bear like stands up from like crouching over his body and stuff, she's gonna run up and give Bear a big hug and be like, "I missed you."
Bear's gonna pet Cookie on the head.
Okay. So as you're rifling through pockets and kind of patting him down really quick, there's like the jacket right, and then there's the like vest under it, and the vest pockets are empty, but you feel something on the inside of that. You open up the vest, and there is what looks like a smooth side, but as you feel the lining, there's like a little bit of like a tiny opening there, and you reach in and you find it doesn't look like a key, but it's the only other thing on his person, and it is just a small gold not made of gold, but gold-colored rectangle.
Nice.
That's just, it looks kind of fancy. It might be real gold, like who knows actually, but
It's shiny.
But it's just
I'm just
the
grabbing
only
it.
other thing of note. It's a shiny. Okay,
Eat it.
sounds good. So you grab that, pocket it, stand back up. Cookie throws her arms around you, and this is the first time you've ever seen, like, you saw Bear's transformation earlier, but this is like the first time you're getting to like interact with them. So
Yeah, because we had our little crowd surfy moment, and then we pretty much had to part ways exactly after that. So this is definitely like the first like one-on-one quiet, time moment Cookie has had with Bear since the transformation. Yeah.
So she pats you on the head.
Yeah.
What do you two do after this touching reunion?
I guess Cookie would just look back and be like, I have so many questions.
Well, I don't know a lot, but what do you want to know?
You're like, you're not a bear?
I'm a bear. I'm bear. Yeah. I don't know.
You're just bear in heart.
Well, she looks down and she does see bear skin. It's just her clothing.
Bear skin.
Bear?
Like, huh.
I see bear when I look at myself. Bear.
I don't feel any different.
Oh, well, that's good at least. Have you seen the necklace at all?
No. I saw a lot of stuff, but I don't think so. But Bella went somewhere.
Okay.
So maybe
Yeah, it's like,
maybe she's,
where is Bella?
I don't know. She went with some guy.
Okay.
She's doing stuff. I don't know.
She met a guy
Some
and ditched
guy?
me.
Some guy, yeah.
Okay.
I asked him to arm wrestle and he said no.
I already hate him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bella, you hear the voice of Cookie and of Bear from behind the door.
Oh, after he pushed me back?
After he pushes you back, you're hearing the tail end of this conversation.
Oh, okay. Then I'll very quietly say, hey, those are my friends. I think we can go out.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, I rolled a 23.
All right. He looks a little, he's been kind of taking charge this whole time, and you can tell that he's enjoyed that. And there's a moment of like scrutiny when, it's not like he's bothered by you making a suggestion, but more like he's definitely like, trying to judge whether or not this is accurate, or not. And he seems to kind of like raise his eyebrows and peek around the corner and let go of your hand and pull the door back a little bit and do like a after you kind of motion.
Then I'll saunter out all confidently.
Okay. So you two hear footsteps as you're having as you're kind of like having this conversation. She went with some guy, and then there's like on tile.
Oh, hey guys.
Like, oh, Bella. What happened?
Hey, Cookie, that's the guy.
No, he's still in the room. He hasn't followed me
We can't
as
see
far
him
as she
yet.
described.
Also,
Okay.
when you do see somebody walk out, if they do, you're going to see a very tan looking person with blonde.
Yeah, he
curly
changed
hair.
his appearance.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never
Mhm.
mind.
That's a new guy. She already ditched the first guy and met someone new.
What'd you do to that guy?
She's that person you have to follow around at the bar and be like, "No, honey, come back to the table." No, I'm kidding.
Just friendly with everybody. Like, you don't know this person, hun.
I left with this one guy, but I met someone new in the collection, and he's got curly hair, and I'm really into him now.
After you have a few exchanges, you do see Cookie and Bear. You do see the head of someone poke out. This isn't who you saw earlier, Bear, but it is a person that she's with. They kind of poke out and look at the two of you.
So Cookie asked Bella what happened, and then she kind of notices the head, and she's like, who's that?
I look and see him. Oh, he's cool. Don't worry about him.
Okay. The Bear said that she hasn't seen the necklace. Have you?
I have the necklace.
Oh, good. I was just, it's like I've only been down this hall and in a room down there, and I haven't even looked for anything. So,
Oh, yeah, no worries. We just need to leave.
oh, okay.
As quickly as possible. And I'll take off the sickle off my belt and I'll just hand it over to Bear. Like, hey, this looks cool, right?
There's like drops of water along the edges of the sickle. One drops onto the floor, and there's that kind of like water drop sound, and there's some crackling energy around the edge of the sickle. She hands it out to you.
Oh, so I'm guess.
Sparky. Pretty. I'll take it.
I love it. What were you saying, Karen?
So you managed to take some other things, I see.
Oh, yeah. Yes. All of it, actually. It's all gone. We need to leave.
All of it.
We need to leave.
Oh, okay.
Very quickly.
And with that, he kind of he's turned away a little bit from the three of you, and he says, "Yes, I don't know how much of a fight you're prepared for, but I hope it's one at all." And turns his body in a way that the two of you, Cookie and Bear, don't really understand. But Bella, you know that where he, like the way he looked previously, the scepter was kind of poking out of the top of that bag that he had. And he turns where that side of his body is like towards the door, and then he pulls it. And it opens.
We're following him.
Oh, okay.
And with that,
Okay.
we will switch back to Fergus and Morthos. Fergus, you're reaching into this empty space where this person disappeared from, and you call out, and what did you say again?
Hello? I haven't done Fergus voice in a long time.
Are you doing a voice as a guard though? That was because I feel like Morthos is trying to or something. That's why I haven't done the like, hi guys.
I feel like Fergus would try and deepen his voice more because I feel like, deep voice kind of feels authoritative. And Bryce cannot do... Bryce struggles to do Fergus. Bryce cannot do farther than Fergus, so you would just have to take Fergus and deepen it more.
We will imagine it's... I'm not good at voices, don't worry.
Hello? That's probably not it. I don't...
That's fine.
It sounds like Fergus.
Imagine Fergus saying hello. That's what you hear.
Just like a second passes, and you see a very angry looking Stacy, kind of like the head emerges from the wall again, and she looks at you two and says, "Come on," and kind of like slides back behind it.
At that point, I like walk forward while it's still kind of like I pull my hand back a little bit, but enough that it's like kind of more further forward, so that if there was something weird, only my like hand will get messed up by it first, rather than
I'm hand on Fergus's back, pushing him forward, but like
Okay.
like you're going first.
Okay. So you both, Fergus, you reach this, and as your hand passes through, before you've seen illusions, you remember one in the forest. And usually once you've kind of touched it,
I think in the forest, I did the exact same thing with the one cave where I was just kind of like,
so your hand passes through it, and unlike the other ones, you don't see through it, and there's like texture, there's like substance to this. It's almost like there's a thick feeling like passing through like water or something almost. And it's a little cold, and you emerge out the other side, and you look like you're in like a room with a couple of tables. It's like, it looks like there are like cubbies and like almost like what we would see as like lockers on the other side. Like this kind of looks like what you would think of like as a break room, where people can, like, who work here perhaps can store their belongings and sit and like have lunch and stuff like that. And there is a door to either side of you. Stacy is already like looking around and has like made a beeline towards this very like vaultish looking door. It's like big, thick iron and steel kind of thing to the side. And she like takes her big like gauntleted fist and beats on the door. and yells inside, "What's going on in there?" And like Morthos, you're kind of like emerging through this like cold, soupy space. Right, like as she's like banging on the door. How do you react?
So wait,
that's my cue.
Does the door does the door look like a vault door or just like a door?
It looks like a very heavily reinforced door.
Okay.
It's not like a classic like big metal has like a big dial on the center or anything like that. And she seems to be talking to someone or trying to talk to someone on the other side. You hear like an older, kind of more aged voice, kind of crackly a bit, kind of call out, What do you want? We're busy in here.
We're having a party. You weren't invited.
Do you think that's Stacy's mom?
She's got stuff going on, you know?
We've just got a lot going on today.
Stacy calls in again. Is there not trouble? And she kind of like looks back at the two of you. There's not a robbery? Oh, well, not that I know of. No one's been back here yet. She's like, open up. I need to check. And
I think like as she looks back at us, I kind of like I take a breath and I'm like, are we sure that's actually them? Kind of like lending like, maybe we don't know what's happening, you know?
Is he talking to
He's talking
Stacy or to Morthos?
He's talking to Stacy. He's talking to
Okay.
Stacy to go like, because they're like, oh, nothing seems amiss. Going like, maybe you're not talking to who you think you're talking to.
Make a deception check.
The option 16.
I said open up. Okay. Give me just a second. And there's like clicks and gears turning and the sound of like heavy metal, like gears grating against each other for probably like 2 solid seconds as something is being turned. And the door kind of like slowly pulls open. There's like the release of it being like flush against the door, and it slowly starts to open, and Stacey reaches up with a hand and pushes it rather forcefully, and you see this this halfling woman on the inside. She's got gray hair and it's kind of curly and there's like stray pieces falling, but the rest of it is pulled up into this kind of like messy bun that has like a pencil stuck in it, and she's got these like spectacles on her face, and she's got like a big warm shawl wrapped around her. And you can see like a chair in the back with a desk, and there's like a blanket over the side of this wooden chair that's by this wooden desk. And she just like kind of like stumbles back a little bit, like the force of the door being kind of like pushed open, and she looks rather confused.
I've been in here for 97 years. No one's ever come to check on me.
Like, what are you know you're not supposed to come back here. And Stacy says, well, the city guard seems to think we're being robbed, so
Fergus kind of like looks around and like, where's the vault?
So if you look into the room and you move to kind of see more of it, because the door again pushes inward, so you can only kind of see the right side of the room, where from where you're standing you can catch like another edge of a desk, like in the far right like line of sight, and then you see the one on the far side. So are you like making your way into the room?
Yeah.
Because all you can see right now are these desks.
Yeah.
If you take a few steps in, and you can too, Morthos,
Okay.
behind the door that's like blocking vision of the left side of the room, there is a larger, kind of more of like a portcullis looking door that, again, very heavy, very reinforced looking door, that seems like it almost like lifts upwards.
I want to cast thaumaturgy and create like a crackle, like a cracking kind of rumbly sound from that area, but it's verbal, right? So I don't know how to do that effectively, discreetly.
That's fine.
In this moment.
So I'm going to pause you for just a second because I knew I had made a map and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
So let me move you over.
Oh. Okay.
So
We've come through the bottom wall.
Yeah, you came in here. Let me do the reveal areas. The hallway is where like the cashiers were, and what is marked as a door was the wall with this like guard in front of it that you couldn't see very well, and so it revealed.
Okay, so we went through that door wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see like this, and she was standing kind of on the right side, and this is the door that she was initially banging on. This is where you entered, and you saw the like kind of tables in front of you, and she was over here on the right side, and the conversation at the door was here. It's like me this whole time I've been like, where the hell is that map? And so you walked in, and you could see these two desks, and now you see this really kind of like sturdy looking, more portcullis-y reinforced door.
I mean, both me and Morthos, I think, would clock that as like, this probably seems like the vault.
Or at least, the next barrier. So
Yeah.
at least, the rumble has to come from there,
Yeah,
right?
so I think I'm going to once again trigger Rascal to bark. Kind of, he's kind of using that as like kind of like Rascal's barking because there's bad guys over there, and it's all a deal of like signal. Hey, we're going that way because this is the signal. Bad guys over there. We're gonna go deal with it.
Are you going to wait for the bark until after Morthos does something, or are you going to do it?
I think I'm going to do it first, especially if I know that thaumaturgy requires verbal. He's going to try and use that as cover for him to do so.
Okay, so you tap on your leg again. Rascal barks. What do you do, Morthos?
I try to discreetly cast thaumaturgy, creating I feel like a cracking or crashing sound, and try to put it on the other side of that door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what components does thaumaturgy have? It'll have V, S, and or M.
Just V.
Just V. Okay. So if you, it might be a little hard to hide it exactly behind a dog bark unless you're paying attention and know the signal for the dog bark, but it can at least be a distraction. So go ahead and make a stealth roll type of thing to see if you can like quietly like say it where they can't like see you doing anything or hear you doing anything.
It's like a sleight of mouth.
A sleight of mouth.
Yeah, I got a 14 on the stealth.
Okay.
This is what I say whenever I'm trying to detect bad guys. This isn't thaumaturgy. This is my other spell for detecting bad guys.
It's like, yep, they're definitely over there.
Okay, so you make like a rumble and like a you said like a cracking sound, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, Stacy looks towards this like portcullis looking door. It's not as big as a whole portcullis, but it definitely has that sort of like look to it. This halfling woman kind of looks at it, and a older looking human male all of a sudden kind of nervously from behind the desk on the other side in this like empty space like pops over and is like, "Whoa, what's that?" And she looks back at him and is like, "Fred, come over here. We need to open the door."
Oh, Fred and friend. Wow. Now I'm sure they always get mixed up at parties.
Fred is different than Fren, okay? I had some people from my community pick some of these names, and I also rolled for others. So some of them have names like Stacy and Fred, and some of them have names like Therico and Ophelios.
Or Imlawe.
Imlawe. That was a roll. I was like, I'm so sorry that they get Fred and Fren, and you get Imlawe. But you also got the little halfling woman, too. So
Betty.
Betty. I was like, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know if I
she's
said this
a gnome.
at the time.
She's a
gnome. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But her name's actually Betty White. You might not know that, but
Wow.
that's her full name. Which is why she's a sweet little lady with a bubble cut who also happens to have really nice knife skills. Who knows?
She used to be Betty the Grey, but she fought.
Oh my god.
She fought a thing and came back.
There's that one, like, one of the epic rap battle things where they're doing, like, Gandalf versus the other one who shall not be named. And He's like, death makes you die, it just makes my brights brighter. Anyway, so these two go over to either side of this door, and they kind of like turn their backs to the two of you, the guards, and they start like fidgeting with something. And she's like, Stacy, will you be a dear and you go open the thing for us, please? They seem to be doing some sort of like unlocking sort of like ritual of some kind. And Stacy goes over and just literally starts like lifting from the bottom this like huge door. And
Wow. Barbarians, am I right?
she's actually having a little bit of trouble. Like she gets it up about halfway, but to get that point where you're like switching to pushing up instead of pulling, she's having some trouble. Do the two of you want to help her?
Sure. I mean,
Push her under the door.
does she like look at us at all? Like she like
No. She's just straining.
Okay, I feel like if she looks like she's straining, Fergus will step in and try and help. Acrobatics?
Strength?
Oh, just stretch.
You're lifting. I mean, unless you want to just slide under.
It's no. Athletics was athletics, not acrobatics.
Yeah. You can make an athletics check for sure.
It's the same number, but
Yeah.
5.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I mean,
Morthos was
worst
not
case
helping.
scenario, she just stands there and struggles for the rest of the game.
Right. What were you gonna say, Morthos?
Morthos was not helping lift
Okay.
the door.
Sounds like a plan. With the combined effort of the both of you lifting, since you do have at least a +2 score, she was just barely like under the like heaviness DC or whatever, because it is a very big and sturdy looking door. She's able to, with your help, lift it up, and it's like when you get towards like the top like foot or so of lifting it, that you start to feel like clicking of it, feeling like it's being like caught and pushed into some sort of like a holding position, and she lets go at some point and continues on through. At which point, you see that you are in another like office-y looking area. There's no one in here at the moment, but there is one final door.
Or is there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't know if it's the final door, but you do see another one over here. But this one looks just like a normal like door with a handle. She strides over to it. She grabs the handle.
I feel sorry for the guys who have to like work at these desks of like, I hope Stacy comes and lets us out for lunch.
No, they seem to be the ones with the keys. But there are also doors in the room that you were in. There are also doors on the other side. And from the positioning of them, if you have like good spatial awareness, you would imagine that this is where like the cashiers sit.
Yeah.
And so there's like this door. Well, go ahead and make a perception check for me, both of you, if you are studying the door.
Yeah, I was sitting back
12.
and watching.
Yeah, especially you.
5.
So it's kind of
Can't put it together though.
yeah, right. Like it's kind of hard to say.
That's a door, huh?
There was like a small portion of the door that had like 2 raised like rectangular sort of spaces, and if you pass through to the other side, it's all clicked up and out of the way where you can't get like a good look at it. But knowing the way that like have you actually has Fergus actually been familiar with a casino?
What do you mean?
Or was that all a story that he made up to tell other people about
I think Fergus would be aware of, like, he probably has been in casinos.
or in a prison.
Yeah, for sure,
Maybe.
been in a jail situation.
So it's entirely possible that those things were some sort of way to like pass small amounts back and forth that were too small for like a typical person to fit through, but coin could be passed back and forth and such. So Stacey strides over to this door, grabs the handle, tries to turn it. Nothing happens. She looks back frustratedly at the 2 people in the other room, and the human man, Fred, kind of like scurries forward, looking a little like incredibly frightened. Not even a little. He looks very frightened, and he pulls out a very traditional looking key, unlocks this door, and takes a step back. And she swings that door open. Hallway is revealed with another door.
See, it wasn't the final door.
Yeah.
Stacey kind of like, at this point, she like throws up her hands in frustration and looks at first to Fred and then at the halfling woman. And she also kind of like winces and starts scurrying forward. And she starts to proceed down the hallway.
I feel like as we're kind of like making our way through, Fergus will kind of keep like every so often kind of signaling Rascal to like bark more further, like keep it like, hey, the signals are still there. It's just farther back now.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, everything stopped as soon as you let us through the first door.
Mm-hmm. So, in that case, as she kind of like scurries down this hallway, she's going to reach up and touch the left side of the wall. Go ahead and make Stacey is the one that immediately followed her, but if you two are following in pretty close pursuit, then you can both make a perception check because she's very obviously like reached up at the wall. It's going to determine what you can see that she does.
15.
How wide's the hallway, or how big is it? Like full size? Like we'd all be able to.
It's 5 feet. So, like, if you were in combat, it would be single file. When you're not in combat, you can kind of share space with people
you're not
and like crowd.
Arms out.
Yeah, you don't have like a shield up and a sword out or wands and spells and stuff. But it is considered 5 feet wide.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll try to see. 15 as well.
Nice. So you both see her reach up. She traces her line or her finger across the line of a few like bricks in like the mason work. And she makes a symbol with her hand and then outlines another one. And then she pushes into a third. And one of the bricks, like normal size looking bricks, kind of like comes out of the wall a little bit with like a grinding sound of like masonry. She pulls that back to reveal like a hollowed out portion in the back and pulls out this like small rectangular, like it almost looks like a piece of gold, like a gold bar or something, but very small and thin. She pushes that back in, but not all the way into the empty space in the wall. She holds it up to the door. And unfortunately, because she's a halfling, she can't really hide this with her body. So like up above her in the air, she like presses it to the door. And she moves it in a pattern in different places in like a small space. So you see her quickly kind of like down, right, up, down, left, up, down, something like this.
Like
and
Diagon
she's
Alley.
like touching several points. What'd you say? I'm sorry?
Like Diagon Alley.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never
That's
seen
what I
it
was thinking
or read it.
too. Oh, it's Harry Potter.
Up,
Oh,
down,
yeah, so
down,
I don't know
left,
anything
right,
about it.
left, right, BA, start.
Yeah.
I should have done that. And she was like pressing different points too. And when she like seems to complete this sequence that like for being kind of like old and a little like confused as she was acting earlier, this is like very quick, graceful, deft hand movements. Like this is either very well known to her, very rehearsed, or she was just scared earlier and is a little more capable than she initially appeared. There is like a soft click, and there are a few other sort of like noises that are a little unfamiliar, maybe like a whir kind of to it. And there is a release as like whatever force holding the door in place. There's not a visible handle, kind of releases, and there's like a bit of movement to the door.
How sturdy does this door looked?
Make an investigation check.
16.
At a glance, this doesn't necessarily look like a metal that you are familiar with. As it moves, you can't gauge how thick it is. It is very smooth, like remarkably smooth, like what we would consider to be like machine-made smooth. It's a little bit shiny and almost like reflective, where like not like a mirror, but you can kind of like see like the light reflecting off like the people in like the shine a little bit, if that makes sense. And as it moves, there is no noise.
As she has kind of been doing that, he looks at Stacy quickly and goes like, is this it? And kind of like starts reaching for his weapons.
Are you trying to act as though you're like spurring her on to fight whoever's inside?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of like looking at her for like confirmation of like the bad guys are in the vault. Do we need to get ready to fight who's vault? Like, is this the vault? Because if it's the vault, we need to be ready to fight them.
I'm gauging whether or not you look intimidating to her, or like she's basically going to like see you reaching for your weapon and going to have to determine whether or not she's suddenly been like duped or whatever. Like, so if you're just kind of like honestly looking at her, that's fine.
Well, I'm like reaching down towards my hip as I kind of look at her for like confirmation, not in like an aggressive way.
Gotcha. In like a, okay, is this fine?
Yeah. Are we, here?
Morthos is gonna ask to Fergus, do you think our backup is gonna be able to find us all the way in here? Just like, in a kind of persuasive, like,
okay,
trying to generally persuade the rest of the group that we have our, the rest of our city guard troops that are they're coming with us, right? They need to come find us. So like, we either need to send someone back there, or like, will the doors be open for them to come on in, kind of thing. And,
well, I guess first he'd look for Stacy's answer before he answers Morthos, or any response off Stacy.
I didn't know anyone else was coming. If they know,
no. So does Stacy answer my question of like, of is this it? And then,
well, you asked 2 questions in quick succession, so she's first answering.
a sparkle, a little like hint that the door is opened and this is the real one. He like quickly with one hand taps his leg to signal Rascal to bark, and in that same moment starts saying the incantation for Fog Cloud to try and fill that room with fog so people can't see what's in there.
Okay. What does Fog Cloud have for components?
Verbal and somatic.
Okay. So you're hoping the bark is going to cover the verbal, right?
Yeah.
So make a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of mouth.
Sleight of mouth. No, sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand is a 17.
Okay. So tell me how Fog Cloud takes hold.
So it creates a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered around a point within range. I think it's literally going to be right where the door opens. So it's like, because this room would be bigger than the fog cloud would fill, but it would like, you could not, if it starts at that space, you're not able to see past the fog cloud. This hallway is going to be obstructed by the fog. The bark happens, and then this, as the doors swinging open, Fergus is quickly, and then like smoke just starts pouring out from the door, like fog, I guess. But I almost would imagine that like, thinking what they think, they would read it as smoke, knowing that like, hey, they're supposed to be like, exploding into the vault and stuff. Like, this might be smoke that was put off, and whatever they saw, as soon as that fog cloud just kind of like materializes and stretches into the hallway and stuff, they suddenly just see smoke in front of them, fog.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that the two of you can't actually see anything anymore either, right?
Right.
It affects everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So the door starts to open, and you start to see the side of a wall that's lined in gold bars and jewels and like necklaces and trinkets. And the smoke starts to pour out from inside. Stacy shoves the door open, takes a few steps in, and you can start to hear the like swiping sound of somebody swinging a sword through the air. That kind of like sound that is made. And you start to hear her kind of like wildly swinging around to see if she hits anything, basically.
Oh my god.
I think as soon as she is stepped forward, so it would be she stepped forward into the fog/room, and the halfling is like right against the door, right?
The woman was like right there, basically like Stacy kind of shoved past.
Okay.
And the man is like at the edge of the hallway on the other side. Like he didn't go any further than the first door.
Okay. So you said the guy is still behind us?
Mm-hmm. And as the smoke pours out, like it's like the halfling woman makes like a kind of like a muffled noise of shock as the smoke comes pouring out, and he makes like a similar noise, and you can hear like footsteps as he's trying to like perhaps like back up as the smoke starts to head towards him.
Fergus grabs his swords out, and at that moment he looks at Morthos and says, "Now!"
Yeah, I'm casting sleep.
Okay. Go ahead and...
My thought was, how close were the people to us?
Stacy is about 5 to 10 feet inside the door. You're all in this hallway. The back of the hallway is about 15-ish feet away from you, so a total of maybe like 25 feet or so.
Okay. Yeah, it has a range of 20 feet for the circle. So if I cast it in the room, I'll hit Stacy. But if I cast it in the hallway, I'll hit all three of us.
Well, can't you?
Or if I cast it centrally,
yeah, can't you?
We're kind of stuck in the middle.
Can't you play? Well, if you ignore the guy behind us, can't you place it where Stacy and the halfling are in the circle, but we're not?
Yeah, I think so. Towards the back of the room there. That would, right?
Yeah, you can put it at a space out of range that you can't see. Now, if the spell says that it can't go through like walls, you couldn't put it outside the room. But if it doesn't say anything like that, then you can pick a point far enough away so as not to like encompass the two of you. So that's easy enough to do.
Some guy like outside falls asleep.
Yeah.
The room is 25 feet around, so you could easily like put it sort of like in the center of the like central-ish area of the room so that you get
I need
the
it to
edge
be
here.
We're 20 feet away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
fine. Okay.
What's the range on it? What's the casting range?
Casting is 90 feet.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Okay.
Okay. So I think with sleep you need to roll hit points to see how many people are affected.
Yes. 5d8.
Ooh.
Oh!
Is that max?
31.
That's the it's almost. You rolled 2 8s.
Yeah, 2 maxes.
7, a 5, and a 3. Oh my goodness. Okay.
31 on the 5d8 for sleep.
So the two of you hear the sound of somebody slumping to the floor on the left of you. It's a very light sound. They must not have been very heavy. And within the room, you hear kind of like a groan and a few staggered sounds. And then like the sound of a body hitting into like carefully stacked coins, and coins like clinking down around everywhere and like falling on the ground and like general commotion.
With that, Fergus, God, I'm not sure what to do about that guy behind us.
We're not in combat yet, right? So
No.
Technically, nobody knows that we're not on their side.
in that case, can I, because like actions, right, are very combat oriented. So like, could I then turn around and cast charm person on the guy behind us and reference like the robbery that's going on, and like, you better get yourself somewhere safe.
Well,
yeah,
do we
absolutely.
need charm person to do that?
if that's what Morthos wants to do, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could otherwise try to persuade him, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how persuasive Morthos tends
I'm very
to be.
persuasive.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can try to just make a persuasion check. If you want to charm them for extra effect, you can. You know that, I think, unless I'm remembering wrong, by the end of the charm, they might know that they were charmed.
Yeah.
So you could try
Yes.
that. Like, more of those could try talking them into it, and then if it doesn't work, could try charming them, because
Okay.
that will get them away. That kind of like clues them in that something nefarious is going on. So if you want to just try to persuade him first, you can. But what do you say before you try to do that?
It sounds like things are getting out of hand in here. You better get yourself somewhere safe. Our backup should be here in a couple of minutes. Maybe go get them.
Oh, okay.
And then I got to roll.
Yeah.
13. So not great.
But good enough. You hear like the muttering, like he says something along the lines of, "Oh yes, yes, yes," and then you hear like shuffling feet. You can't see what's happening because there's a fog cloud everywhere.
Okay, so no one else is round. The two in front of us are
As far as you know.
okay. I think at that point, Fergus kind of looks at Morthos and just goes like, "Watch behind us," and he makes his way forward. He's going to try and find the halfling in the fog.
Okay. How do you try to find the half?
Just like gently like feeling around.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you know where she was standing before you cast it, and you heard like the slump sound, so you find her easily on the ground.
Okay. He tries to find the little block thing that she was holding in her hand.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check with disadvantage.
9 and 18, so 9.
Okay. You feel around on the ground around her, and you don't feel it. You kind of like gingerly pat around on her person, and her pockets seem to be completely empty.
Okay, at that point, Fergus kind of like very gently picks her up and kind of like lays her on the other side of the door.
Like inside the area with all the money?
Yes.
Okay. As you're picking her up and your arms kind of like sliding under to lift her, you feel something sharp. Not like knife sharp stab you, but you feel like the edge of something like graze against your arm from the floor.
I guess as he kind of like gently like tries to like brush his hand closer to like feel it like with his arm, while still trying to focus on picking her up. Like once he started doing that, he's not gonna be like, I'm gonna drop her and grab this.
Yeah. Seems like a rectangular object.
Okay, he kind of just like makes note of that's on the floor while he continues to lift her up and place her inside.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. Your strength score and her size.
Okay.
So she's on the ground inside.
Fergus very quickly he skirts around the edge of the hallway, like or on the edge of the room, and then tries to make his way like past the fog cloud, staying as close to the wall as possible to like stay out of the way of the sleeping people.
What's the range of the fog cloud? Like, how big is the radius of it?
I think it's 20 feet total.
And you cast it like
right on the other side of the door.
Okay. So it's a 20-foot diameter or a 20-foot radius?
It is 20-foot radius sphere of fog.
So if you cast it right on the other side of the door, it covers everything except for the far back wall of this room.
Okay.
And it goes out to just beyond the door of this room.
Okay, that's way bigger than I thought it was. Cool. Then yeah, he kind of skirts his way towards the very back edge, where he can kind of see the gold, through the finally see the like big mess of money that they didn't really organize. They're just like, hey guys, we need some more gold. Okay. Well, I'll grab from the big pile of money.
So what it looks like is that the walls are lined and very stacked, and there are mostly like bars, and there are some coins, and then there's also like chips and things like that. And then
Okay.
out on the tables, there were like prepared amounts that were like set aside, where if they're like, okay, I need this much change, they could like grab a specific like section of like coins. But since she kind of like stumbled forward and fell into them, there's just like a splay of coins now.
Okay.
But you didn't get to see the room very well, so how are you moving forward without tripping yourself? I would like to know.
I mean, I'm basically like moving with my back to the wall because like I'm like constantly like feeling like wall.
So just moving slowly.
Yeah, I'm just
Gotcha.
like slowly skirting around wall, constantly touching wall.
Okay. What are you doing, Morthos?
Where is the closest gold?
The closest thing would be like the walls over here.
Okay. And I wouldn't have necessarily seen that before
You would have seen
the
like
fog.
as the door kind of opened, you would have seen a little bit of it before fog started coming out.
Okay. Because I know Fergus said, like, watch our backs. I think Morthos is probably trying to at least skirt to the closest wall and just, grab as much as he can quickly
Okay.
and throw it in his bag.
Make an acrobatics check.
18.
Okay. There were a couple
He's
of times
very
where you were
ready.
almost about to step on someone or trip over them, and you either stop yourself or you catch yourself or right yourself, what have you. So you're creeping over to the wall. It looked like
Maybe on the right or...
you could go to either wall. The door opens inward, so you'd have to go around.
Yeah.
But
Fergus is definitely skirting the wall on the left.
Okay.
on the left. Okay, so then you're going in. Well, he can. So
Yeah, he wouldn't know. I would presume that
Yeah.
he saw me. He saw me go into the cloud.
Mhm.
But
Well, he saw the cloud billow out because you guys were in the hallway.
And
Yes.
we were
The cl-
standing,
The
like,
cloud
yeah.
billowed out and filled that space as soon as you
Yeah.
cast it. So neither of you have seen anything that's happened since the moment that has been cast.
Okay.
It has been like casting spells.
So even if we're
like-
standing, like...
yeah, I would assume
You
it
know,
says
this
we're
far away,
the
we can't
fog
really-
cloud says we're heavily obscured. So I would figure if we were standing next to each other in this like tight hallway, we would have at least been able to be aware of each other up till the point we started moving
Yeah,
apart.
you would have seen like a dark, shadowy type stuff. But the minute you were more than 5 feet away from each other, complete loss. of
Yeah.
visual
So,
sight.
but he would have known. I communicated
he
to
knows
him.
that you went into the room.
Yeah.
but that's all he knows.
So yeah, he knows what I'm doing. He wouldn't know where I went after that, but he does
Yeah.
know that I am going that way.
Well, he knows that you went into the room.
Yes.
That's all
yes.
that he can know.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm trying to get in to the closest point of gold or valuable and just grab as much as I can as quickly as possible and turn around and go back to the hallway.
Okay. Let's make a retroactive perception check to tell me how much you could see about what the gold on the walls looked like.
Okay. 16.
Those are big bars and they are secured. So the closest point of like loose things that you
Accessible.
could grab are going to be either the back wall or the things kind of in the middle that you heard
Okay.
crash when like Stacy presumably like fell into or on them.
Okay.
Mhm.
I guess then I would have, tried to,
Head to
during the
middle.
crash, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm able to tell that there is loose stuff there.
Oh yeah.
And so knowing that, kind of work my way in and try not to fall or step on somebody while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you did a good job of making your way through there. So Fergus, what are you looking for when you get back here, just to take a look and see how much you can like nab?
Yeah,
right?
Fergus is doing essentially the same thing of he's made his way back and he just wants to very quickly just grab like a pocketful.
Okay. Yeah. What kind of storage do you have on you? Like you have your backpack, obviously,
Yeah,
and like your pockets and stuff. No bag of holding or anything.
No,
though?
nothing like that.
Okay, gold's pretty heavy. So you could probably fit along the back wall are some unsecured bars. And you could probably fit.
I can hold another, let's see, I have 135 pounds on me currently, and I can hold 210 total, so I can hold 70 more pounds of gold.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just carry it out by hand, you can too. But if you want to put it away,
Yeah.
we have to think about how much space you have. How much does a gold bar weigh? The things that I forget to look up ahead of time. 12 kilograms, 27 pounds. A standard gold bar weighs 27 pounds.
Oof.
And those these ones aren't bolted down or whatever.
There are a few that aren't.
Okay.
So with the space you have in your backpack and the like, you know that you can carry them. That's not an issue. With the space you have in your backpack, you could probably grab like 3 or 4.
I'm gonna,
unless you want to just like hold on to a bunch of them.
I honestly think he's gonna grab 2 and call that more than enough.
Call it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's gonna quickly like go back the same way he came, like touching the door. This time now, like I feel like he'd move a little bit faster now that he kind of knew the path. Getting there, he's like, okay, I know where that one gold piece that I almost stepped on was. I'll step over that this time. And
okay. And Morthos, you're just gonna go in. You're gonna like start scooping things into a bag. Like, what kind of storage do you have on you?
I've got my whatever bag I normally have, I guess.
You're like backpack kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
my backpack.
Okay.
And yeah, just kind of grabbing what I can as quickly as possible. So not really.
Yeah.
So with discretion.
Yeah. As you make it, well, you can't see what you're grabbing anyway.
Yeah.
As you make your way in and you kind of stepped over and around a first thing on the floor you presume to be one of the people, and then a second thing on the floor you presume to be another person. You kind of reach like where you knock against, not like hard or anything, but as you're walking forward gingerly, you kind of like feel the table or whatever. And if you put your hands on the top, you can feel just like a mess of coins kind of splayed there. So if your goal is to like flip your backpack around, which I assume we're under the like capes and like cloaks or whatever you had on over your guard stuff, so they didn't just see you having like a backpack on, you have to kind of like flip that around and you can just like scoop into the backpack.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so
one shovel motion
Mm-hmm.
go.
So as you're stuffing the 2 gold bars into your backpack, Fergus, you hear the distinct sound of coins being like rustled in like a scooping, scraping sound, and then a collecting sound of them tinkling into something.
And then like a Mario ding ding ding.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's not gonna say anything because he's trying to be as quiet as possible, but he definitely is like he grabbed the 2 bars and now he is moving back out the way he came. So presumably if Morthos is as close in as possible, he might presumably hear me coming back.
Okay. How long do you make sweeps into your bag, Morthos?
I think just like the one, if it's like
one big sweep.
like as much on that tabletop as I can.
I mean, yeah, you're 7 foot tall. Your wingspan's probably most of the tabletop, so you can just kind of do like a big funnel kind of thing. Sure. Okay. And then you tie the
turn
top
around
off
and try to retrace my path. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the exit strategy? You're just gonna kind of go out the way you came in and run out into like the open space, like, and obviously like react however you need to an environment. But is there anything else you're doing on the way? Just asking.
Yes. As Fergus exits, like he makes his way out the hallway and gets to the point where they're like just at the edge of the fog cloud where he can like see his way. Is Morthos there when he gets to the edge of the fog cloud?
I would say that Morthos is going to be able to make it in, do the sweep, and get back before you.
Okay.
Because he just did 1 sweep, and he had less time to move, and he didn't have to move nearly as slowly, like inching along the sides and stuff like that. I mean, he was still going slowly, so it's not like he's out there like waiting for you. But his took less time.
Okay.
So where do you go after you do that, Morthos? Do you like head completely out of the fog cloud, or do you go like wait in the doorway?
Yeah, I go to to the end of the hallway, as close like I'm heading back down the hallway once I get to the door and Fergus isn't there, and I'm just gonna walk to the edge of the fog cloud.
Okay.
Edge of the fog cloud.
So then yeah, we'll see each other at the edge of the fog cloud, and Fergus looks at Morthos quickly, and he kind of like touches his own pockets quickly, and he's like, "Do you have parchment on you? Pen,
sure
paper?
Do. sure have my forgery kit.
Can you quickly write a note for them? You've just been robbed by the Pond 11, and we'll leave them a little present.
The Pond 11.
Yes. I have a list of the fake people I came up with who were robbing them, and the main guy's name is George Pond, which is a deal of the Ocean's 11, but Pond 11.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. So where do you leave this note?
I think he gets the note from Morthos, and then he kind of like he looks at Morthos like dead in the eye this time and goes, "Stay here." And he like quickly like moves back to the vault door, sets the paper on the ground, and tries to close the door.
Do you stay there, Morthos?
Yes and no. Okay, so I
step one step to the side.
I have my spell gem with disguise self in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking we got to get out of here. And now people are looking, at least I want to use that and disguise myself. The problem is I don't think I can get rid of my tail with disguise self.
Disguise self will make the visual appearance of another person that you can describe. It doesn't change your physical self, so your tail can be unseen.
Okay,
but if
so
someone were to
illusion.
walk into it, they would feel it and then probably be like, "Why did I feel a tail?" and have an opportunity to see. Yeah, it's an illusion. Exactly.
Okay.
Because there is like a change self kind of spell that actually
Yeah.
physically changes you, and this is just to disguise it. So it's just illusion.
I'd like to disguise myself as one of... So this is the other hard part, right? They were all halflings in the back.
No, the one was a human man.
Okay.
Fred,
Okay.
who's older, had like a bald spot on the top and like gray hair that was a little frizzy on the side. He also had some little glasses.
Yeah, I want to disguise myself as Fred, even though we sent him back out into...
I'm sure that's
The
not
general
gonna
area.
come back to bite us.
Okay. So you come back out, Fergus, and you see no Morthos, but you see Fred standing there.
Did the door, like, the door closed fine, right?
It doesn't have a handle, so you can like try to like pull it close like to the edge, and as you get it like pretty close, it seems to like close itself in.
Okay, cool. Fergus, once he does that, he's gonna grab that the little rock that he felt.
Okay. Well, you emerge from the smoke,
Yeah.
and you see the room empty, and you see Fred standing there.
And Fergus like is taken back at that and goes, "Oh, I thought you left."
I'll just say, hey, Fergus.
Do you like say it in
Hey,
your own
Fergus.
voice?
How's it going?
Okay. And then Fergus looks at him, like eyeing him over, and he's like, "This seems like a bad idea." and with that, he just kind of like goes, wait, message, right?"
Yeah.
Like Fergus is saying that to Morthos because he has told him what spells he knows. Can you contact the other, like, Bella and see if how things are going?
Probably not if she's not in range.
What's the range on message?
120 feet, but I don't know her position.
You would know roughly.
I believe the spell or the cantrip says you pointed a creature you can see within range.
Oh, okay.
So you also have to point, I believe. if you
Okay.
It
read.
says toward a creature within range, so like,
Oh, you don't have to see them?
yeah.
Okay.
You point toward a creature within range?
Yeah, and you can cast it through solid objects if you're familiar with the target.
Okay.
So if I knew where we were positioned, I could point to where I think Bella is, which is 2 floors above us.
Okay.
But that might just be lost in the dark somewhere.
So we'll hold that thought. And we'll come back to the gals.
The Gal Pal adventure.
Hey.
So you're staying there. You have like briefly rejoined and introduced vaguely Bella's new friend to everyone, or at least whoever this person is.
Oh yeah, definitely Bella's new friend.
He's mine.
Your special friend.
My precious.
He has basically said, time to go, and he has moved towards the door, turned to the side, and pushed it open. And he exits. What do the three of you do?
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I'm following him.
The door that leads like out to the casino? Okay.
Mhm. So we'll switch.
Yeah.
We'll switch back over there so you can see what's going on here. So,
Follow up on message. It looks like 1 foot of stone, magical silence, 1 inch of metal, thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood all block the spell.
okay.
And I don't think it can travel. Like, it says it can go around corners and stuff, but I don't think it can go around corners and still count as 120 feet, right?
Yeah, and there's too
Yeah.
much stone. I
Yeah.
think you would know
Okay.
Yeah.
between here. So he swings open the door wide, making no attempt to like hide what he's doing. Of course, he's disguised, right? So that's not necessarily like out of character or whatever, or not like a poor decision, I should say. And as this happens, you hear like a confused like what of someone who sounds very ill, and you see him like look over and down at someone and smile and just push. And you hear the sound of like, you know, like metalish armor, how it like clacks against itself, like the sound of a lot of that. Like perhaps somebody fell over, and then a grunt. And he turns around and looks at the three of you and says, well, maybe I'll see you again someday. And draws a sword. Starts to run, really. Starts to run. Doesn't look like he's waiting for you. Just kind
Hi.
of taken off.
All right, well,
I guess we should make our way out. I don't know what's going on with Fergus and with our other team mates.
I know some people that might carry us out.
So I guess we should just at least make our way to the front.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
let's go. Mm.
However, that gentleman did make it sound like we are going to have a struggle getting all of the items outside. Possibly.
How many items do you have?
I think you were able to kind of shove most things like in pockets and backpack except for the sickle, right? So the only thing visible is the sickle.
A few.
Okay. Like, I have a bag of holding. Do you want me to carry some?
Oh my god, wait, does that work? Would that puts it in a pocket dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. May I borrow that? How big is this?
It's like, I guess discreetly put it in right now since the door is open.
It's bigger on the inside.
Like a TARDIS.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly knew the sickle.
Do you hand it over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh wow, I figured Baird would carry it.
So I'll individually show, or like, I guess we're discreetly trying to do it, right? So I just won't
Yeah.
show individually, I guess, but
I guess Rico would know that they're being robbed, so it's not like you got away with it scot-free. So, yeah, it's unclear how well hiding the goods is going to help you, but doesn't hurt.
So do you just give Cookie everything then?
yeah, literally everything that I got from that room is now with Cookie.
I think
Inside.
her intention was to hand it all over, but not like show and tell, I think, was what she
Yeah.
was getting
Yeah.
at, like,
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
we are in the open now. The door is open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would have
there
been
are
a
other
better
eyes.
thing to do when we were back there.
Yeah.
But
I guess I didn't realize he was gonna just dip like that.
Nice.
Okay, well, once everything's in the bag, let's just go.
Yeah, let's see if we can leave the building with that.
How do you head out?
With swagger?
Quickly?
Bear puts on their shades.
If you just make like a beeline and run, that's fine. If you want to try to like stealth your way out, like check corners and see if anyone's looking or whatever. It's up to you. You tell me what you want to do and what you would do, and I'll tell you what happens.
Maybe Bear should go back to her friends and cause a commotion.
Yeah, you guys are the champions, right?
And then
Yeah.
you guys can just leave while they're excited. And I'm not holding anything, so.
Okay.
And Rico knows I was up in the vault, but Fren knows that I smacked him in the head.
Well, Fred knows
Fren
that
is
he
still
was
lying
hit.
back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose Fren doesn't know that you did it.
Yeah. He probably suspects Cherry more than Bear, since Cherry tried to put a spell on him. And
There's a lot that went on that day. It could be a lot of things that happened.
Who knows if he'll remember everything?
Yeah.
And a bad enough head injury can definitely cause you to forget what's going on.
You maybe almost killed him, so.
Yeah, maybe he won't live to tell what happened.
well, Cookie would briskly, but not run, start making her way down to the lobby.
What's your Bale's doing? So Bear's heading out too. And Bella, you just kind of walking out, like strutting. You said swagger? No, Bear said swagger.
Yeah, Bears and swagger. I guess
Okay.
I would actually kind of go for a little bit more of a stealthy approach. I'm not like full blown spy movie, like stopping at every corner and looking around. But I'm definitely not like just walking. I'm probably like trying to duck in, weave with people and stuff.
Okay. Urban stealth stuff. Yeah, go ahead
Yeah.
and make a stealth roll.
Oh, I rolled a 9.
Bear in mind, you emerge
Bear.
and there is still like general shenanigans going on out here. So there is somebody like has been pushed over and is kind of like on one, like they have fallen and they're kind of like sitting on their left hip and their like one hand is on the ground and the other one is like holding their like stomach, and they appear to be sick. So the two of you, Bear and Cookie, kind of make like a beeline out. You are taking a little bit more of a cautious approach, Bella, and after passing by the person who seems to be quite involved in what they're doing, the scene is still generally chaotic before you. There are a few people milling around upstairs, and they have taken notice of something that seems to be going on down like on the first floor. So as you two kind of make a beeline towards, which side do you go down, or do you look over the banister, or do you go straight for a stair? The two that are moving quickly.
Cookie would have just gone to probably the stairs to her left.
Her left.
Yep.
Okay, Bear, do you go the same way or the opposite way?
Opposite way.
Okay, so you two split, go one down each side. There are two people milling about up here, and there is one person over on the the side Bear goes on, and two on the side that Cookie goes on over here. But they seem to be very fixated on something going on down on the main floor, and there does seem to be generally like a commotion. Like there is a bit of din in here anyway from like the little bit of gambling and like the water and everything that's going on. But there seems to be a little bit more like life to it right now, although it's difficult to say whether that's like positive or negative. As you reach the apex here and you start heading down the stairs, you can kind of like see the room unfold in front of you. There's like general chaos. Like this table immediately on Cookie's side in the back has been flipped upside down. One of the like automated like clockwork machines has been pulled over, and you can see like in the like wet, gross water that has like spilled out across the floor, there's like people down picking up like chips and coins for where it has like broken and spilled open. There is somebody who is like in the middle of what looks like a fight over at this table with somebody else. Like they've like pushed someone over a table and they're like grabbing each other. And there's a crowd of people over here that seems to be circled around somebody like at the bottom of the stairs here doing something. And Bear, like in the middle, it looks like there's another 2 people having like an argument, and this table itself has also been dumped upside down.
Jeez.
And the person that was working at that table, because there were a couple of them that were open,
Scabs.
like one of the very few people in like the violet scepter uniform type thing is like cowering at the wall over here as there's a bunch of people like around the ground picking things up too.
Oh my gosh.
And you all,
I
the
didn't,
2 of you
I
start
didn't
to
realize
head
it was
downstairs
Christmas.
and take in this scene as you see the stairs down here, and you see the person, the man that you met with the long blonde curly-ish hair, kind of like looking around at everything that's going and kind of like smiling to himself and continuing on his way. And Bella, you're kind of like creeping around a little bit more slowly. So it's not creeping, but you know what I mean? Like moving more slowly and intentionally. So which side do you go down? Do you follow Cookie or do you follow Bear? Or do you leap over the banister? I'm kidding, you don't.
That one.
I'm super stealthful when I jump over the
Super
banister.
Let me just superhero jump.
No one will notice.
I will follow Cookie, actually.
Okay. So you kind of take in all of the same information just a few moments after they do as they're making their way quickly downward. Because of everything that's going on, no one seems to like approach any of you at first. Although there is a moment, Cookie, where there is one person that is like there are a couple of the guards that are trying to like break up this fight, and one of them is trying to like scramble people away from this machine that's turned over, and another one's working on that table and that table, trying to generally like stop people from just like taking everything that they can grab and running with it. And there's one person that's kind of standing here and like watching everything happen and looking a little panicked, and they look up as you're like coming down the stairs, Cookie, and they kind of like lock eyes with you. Does she have like a guilty look on her face, do you think? Or is she doing her best to kind of like be unassuming and look like generally chaos is going on and whatnot?
Well, since there is chaos and everything going on, I definitely think she'll kind of have like a slight, like, oh my gosh, what the hell is happening kind of look. But so that's probably what she would look like.
Okay, so there's a point as you're like stepping off the bottom of the stairs and like taking all this scene in that you kind of like lock eyes with this person. So go ahead and make a, I would say this can be persuasion instead of deception, because honestly, I feel like this is a perfect sort of example for Cookie to be overwhelmed and genuinely like be feeling these emotions.
Because all she's thinking about right now is like, get out of here, get out of here. Gotta get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out.
Yeah.
So persuasion, you said?
Yeah. Just to see like what they can read off of their face.
7.
Okay. So this person like looks over and they lock eyes with you, and they have like this panicked look on their face as well. And they just kind of like look out at everything. And this is a person that's kind of like newer. And you've like talked to them a few times. But like they're not like, it's not like Rico who's like been here for a while and you're like good friends with, or whatever. You've like seen them around. And they kind of just generally look like lost at what to do. And then they kind of like look at you coming from like upstairs and like just have a generally like confused look. And then like look away like to themselves like thoughtfully. It doesn't look like they looked all of a sudden like suspicious or like point a finger at you or anything, but they're just kind of like,
they see me come up from up there all the time. I go up and talk to Rico all the time up there. So
yeah, might be nothing to like, just because they noticed you doesn't mean like it generally is just like a confusing situation. Like if you want to try to like read their reaction a little bit more intently, you can make an insight check and see if you can like pinpoint like kind of like what, like read their body language a little bit more clearly or something, but you don't have to. Like it's not like they can suddenly be like, it must have been Cherry just because they noticed that. And they didn't, like I said, like they didn't like point a finger or like get her or anything like that.
No, I think Cherry would just keep going. Probably just be like, this is like probably just maybe indicate like, oh my God, what the heck's happening? And then, but just keep going.
Okay. All right. So the three of you are able to make your way through the chaos in the crowd pretty easily. It seems like all of the mischief that you sowed and then whatever additionally happened the few moments it took you to take all of those belongings out and load the bag is a lot. there are times where it's kind of hard to push through the crowd, even because of either two people arguing or people scrambling around and picking up like coins off the floor and things like that. But you do make your way over, of course, to the stairs, and you can head down towards the main floor. So this is about the time that Morthos, Fergus has asked you if you can send a message to Bella. So Bella is in this floor. That would put her at about one floor above you and kind of like roughly in the same area. And you said it was a foot of stone, right?
One foot of stone, you're right.
I would say the way that this is constructed, it's probably not a full foot of stone because there's like building layers and then like a tile layer. And how much wood can it pass through?
3 feet of wood, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal. It seems like, just there's
like one layer.
Is there magical silence, like generally, because that says it blocks it?
Well, you would know if there was magical silence because you wouldn't be able to hear anything around you. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And it makes the area like deafeningly quiet.
Okay.
So it's like you don't know exactly how thick the floor is, but you know she's either 1 or 2 floors above you, and the only way to know for sure how far away she is to try, right?
Yeah.
So what do you two can continue your conversation to determine what it is you want to message to try to send to. And it was Bella that you were going to message specifically, right?
Yeah, Fergus asked for Bella.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to say?
I mean, Fergus is just going to tell, if he says yes, he's just going to be like, let Bella know we're out of the vault.
It's like, we can try. And just like point upwards.
E.T. phone home.
Morthos.
Bella, we got the money. Let's all get out of here. Okay. We're on our. Wait, is that what you wanted, Fergus? Is that? I've got some time here. I can keep going.
Like it's a voicemail.
Yeah, do you repeat the message that you just sent to me, and then?
Oh, that didn't beep yet. Hold on.
You see him talking, but you can't hear the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Yeah. So if he wants to tell me what he said, he has to like send the message and then repeat the message to me.
But you said let her know we're out of the vault.
Yeah, and then so if you did that, then Fergus is like, okay, then if you did that, let's get out of here.
We got the money. We're leaving the vault. Is what I said.
Okay.
Let's all get out of here.
So Bella, you're making your way through the crowd. You're kind of
making your way down,
blending in, like not trying to look too out of place. Doing your best to be like unremarkable amidst the chaos that's going on and react accordingly to everything. And you hear like the edges of a voice. I'm assuming you'd say this in your normal voice.
Yeah,
right?
normal. I'm talking like this now. Bella, we got the money. Let's all get out of here.
And it is almost kind of a little garbled, but you do hear Morthos' voice saying something about gotta get out, got it, get out, gotta get out, got it, get out, something like that. Are you familiar with the message spell? You have it too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you would know the feel of receiving the message spell, and you know that you can respond.
I would respond with already on it.
So after a few moments, you hear a moderately less garbled version of Bella's voice, like a slightly less garbled version because she's not like running and getting close or anything. But basically, you hear like on it. Sounds like they're on it.
Aye. And then you communicate that to Fergus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody said they're on it.
It was
It sounds like
voice,
Bella.
for sure. Yeah.
Somebody who sounds like Bella responded to my message I sent to Bella.
Super
Could be
weird.
anybody,
We're
though.
at least close. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever received it at least could do a good Bella impression.
With that, Fergus just kind of goes, let's get out of here. And he goes, if anybody asks, the robbers got away. And he kind of like smiles as he says that to Morthos. As he like makes a step outward back the way they came.
Okay. So, Cookie and Bear, you Cookie, you reach the stairs down first. You are the first to enter this one of the adjacent lobby-esque type areas, and you can still hear the chaos of the crowd that had carried Bear in victorious. There's still a queue of people standing over here waiting to speak to the champion. They're starting to look a little frustrated.
That the way to the left there is the way to the cafe, right?
Yes.
Is there a bathroom on this floor?
Not on this floor.
Oh, I figured there would have been a bathroom near the cafe. Okay.
Well, the cafe, there's like, if I remember correctly, the cafe had like some stairs. Yeah. Like you go into like another room and then there's like stairs up to another room and then stairs up to the cafe. So it's kind of up. There is one in like the cafe, but there's not in like this other room right over here. Maybe I misunderstood.
How
well, but this is Cookie right now.
Yeah,
anyway, so
yeah.
we'll come to you in a second.
I was just trying to plan my move since we're both gonna be making our way to this floor.
Okay. So, Cookie, you see the queue of the people still standing here. This immediate area does have like people in it, but the majority of the noise and like the chanting and general like buffoonery seems to be coming still from around the corner. So you can make your way through. And although you see people, a few people that work here, and there's even like a guard that kind of is standing in this general area looking bewildered. There's another one talking to these people in line, and they look bewildered as well. No one seems to take too much immediate notice to you.
Okay.
Bear. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, can I see if Rico is around?
Make a perception check.
24 nat 20.
Ooh.
You do not see him, but you hear his voice coming from this hallway.
Okay.
Saying...
The hallway where the tellers are and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
To close up. Close your windows. Close up.
Okay.
And he's essentially like, knowing what you know about the place because you worked there for a month, there's like a procedure that they have to kind of like lock those down. And he's basically like back there, like you all need to like lock your area down, essentially.
Okay. Cookie's definitely going to be actively avoiding him and try and stay like as hidden in the crowd as possible and make her way to the main entrance to get out.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth roll for me then. Just to see how like unassuming you can be and like dodging in and out.
14.
Okay, perfect. Is there anything else in particular you do on the way out?
No.
Okay. Bear, you were the second person to make it down. You went on the other side of the room, so you're probably about like 10 feet behind Cookie. You can see her exit the stairway and like there's some kind of like recognition. She doesn't have to like stop in her tracks or anything, but there's definitely that sort of like looking to the right of like noticing something. And then she kind of like starts to like make her way into the crowd. And you wanted to rile the crowd up, right? So what do you do as you exit the staircase here?
Well, I did, but it feels like there's already something going on now. So I'm gonna sit there and deliberate for a second here. I guess I'll head for the front door where we came in from.
Okay.
And I'll just say hi. Just say hi to everybody.
Okay. So you get to the bottom of the stairs and you take a moment to stop and like take in the situation and deliberate a bit. And this is the point at which Bella kind of catches up because it's not like you were like tiptoeing Bella. You were just trying to be like unassuming. So you were a few paces behind, but not super behind. So you reach the bottom of the stairs about the same time that Bear does. And Bear starts kind of like walking forward, looking to like leave, obviously, but not making like a point to hide herself. And one of the people across the hall over here starts to like do that sort of yell that a person does where they're not saying anything, but they're like gesticulating and like pointing or whatever.
Ah!
Yeah. And a few people that are kind of like milling about start to turn and they see you, and somebody goes, "The champions! The champion!" You throw your like Steve Holt, throw your hands up. Okay.
Oh no.
So, Cookie, you're making your way through the crowd, and you've gotten to like the point where you've made it out to the main lobby, and people are pretty packed in, and you hear somebody yell, "The champions!" And the crowd starts to kind of like pick up again. And Bear and Bella, you see the people who were standing in line over here just kind of like push one of the guards to try to get around them and start coming to like, running towards you with like pieces of paper in their hands. How do you react?
I guess I'll run back at him.
Okay. So yeah, there's this person like running towards you with like stuff in their hands, and they see you like running at them. Are you looking like excited? Like,
Yeah.
okay. So they come running up and they're like shove this at you, and they're like, "Can I get your autograph?"
Yeah.
And then people start to fill in around you, and the crowd starts to kind of like spill into this area. And
Guys,
there's
I think we got away with it. As long as nobody has any proof that we were here, I think we're good.
and papers were being shoved at you, like quills and like chalk and various writing utensils are being shoved at you. Who is and isn't signing autographs?
I'll sign autographs. I won't be quite as excited about it.
Okay. So they're not going to like hold you in place or anything, but they're going to stand there and crowd around you. And as people like move out, other people will fill in space unless you're moving. So are you trying to make your way towards the door still while doing all this? Like engage your fans on the way out kind of thing?
I'd say yeah. I'm not making a hurry
Sure.
of it, but I'm going.
Okay. All right.
So that I can leave if I, need to in a hurry.
Gotcha. I don't think Bear would have much trouble with any of these people, pretty much.
Yeah.
So back to Fergus and Morthos. So you were on your way out then, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you do on your way out other than generally trying to avoid suspicion?
Yeah, we make our way towards, like, make our way out through all the elaborate labyrinth of stuff to the, like,
I'll switch back.
yeah.
How closable does the big heavy door look?
You've never tried to close it, so it's kind of hard to say. Like, it might be something where...
Portcullis door?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, see, the problem with the portcullis door is that I think people would be able to see us fucking with it, because there's the tellers on the other side of that one door.
So the doors to where the tellers are don't have windows on them.
Okay.
They do have like a similar looking little like rectangular thing that could presumably be used to pass like coins and chips and stuff back and forth. If one of those doors opens, they would definitely see whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
At this point, it does seem to be empty.
Was the old lady who was in that, like, the first time, she was the one who's asleep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's in the vault. So is there anybody in that room that's on the, like, in that room next to the portcullis?
Make a perception check. What were you going to ask me, Morthos?
How reasonable does it look to try to close that door, or would we just, would we decide, no, it's not worth it, we just got to go? 13 on perception.
Yeah, I guess if we saw people, that'd be like, no, but...
Yeah.
But if we can lock, the other two in that room in a convenient way.
Well, they're also, well, yeah, they're already locked in the vault, so they'd be double locked.
Oh, you locked the vault
Yeah,
door?
the vault.
Okay.
I closed the vault behind us, so I gently scooped her up and set her into the vault so that she would be locked in there. So that would just be done.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't even worry about that.
That'd be Ziploc double locking her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a 10 on perception.
Okay. So, Fergus, you're looking to see if anyone's in the room. You see the real Fred cowering in the same place he was before, hiding in the corner. He looks to be like, the reason you can see him is because his back is to the desk and his face is to the wall, and he's basically like hiding, like covering his face, but you can see like his leg poking out, and you can tell which way he's facing because you can see like his elbow and his like knee, like kind of like you can guess his posture basically. Morthos, you take a look at the door, and there's not an immediately apparent way to close it. There's not like a switch or anything like that. But you could try a few things if you want to, like, give it a go.
No, since Fergus closed the other door, I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
If it doesn't look, if it's not like immediately closable, then
Yeah.
Okay.
we'll just move on.
Move on. Okay, so you head out.
I definitely, as if when Fergus clocks Fred, he like
Oh, not clocks him.
no, he like
Clocks him.
identifies.
I literally thought you were gonna go hit him.
No,
I was like,
no.
oh no, we're hitting a lot of old men today. Like,
As Fergus identifies Fred, he kind of like tries and blocks his view with his body, which is gonna be hard. Well, no, because Morthos would appear shorter. Dude,
I look like Fred.
yeah. So, but he kind of like looks at Fred, kind of pushes his body between himself and fake Fred, and he just like gestures with his fingers at Morthos and kind of like waves him like, get the fuck out of here.
okay. So you two start booking it towards the exit, essentially, right?
Yeah.
At this point. Okay. You exit this door. Do you close it behind you?
No, I don't see any reason to.
Okay. You turn around this corner and you start to hear doors opening, perhaps of these other doors in the room, because you know the only other door in the room is already open. A few seconds after the doors start opening, a person very familiar to you, or at least moderately familiar to you, by the name of Rico, comes running through this entryway. He turns and he looks and he sees a guard, and he sees Fred. And there's a moment of pause there, and he looks to Fergus, the guard, and says, "What's going on?"
Fergus kind of looks at fake Fred and then looks at Rico and goes, "We got overwhelmed in there. We're going to go get our backup. Your man here is escorting me out. If you want to try and back him up, I don't know, but I need to get her back up."
Make a deception check.
What, this one help me? 10.
Does disguise self, like, is my voice disguised?
Just your appearance.
Okay.
Do you have the actor feat?
Yeah, but you have heard what Fred sounds like, so.
Yeah.
Where would I see that?
If you would have had to taken the actor feat.
He has the What do you get as a charlatan? Do you get anything that allows you to mimic people from your?
Yeah, there might be some sort of like ability.
Yeah,
that you
from
have
your
or something.
background.
Charlatan description. Create a second identity that includes documentation. Additionally, you can forge documents. As long as you have an example. Okay, so I don't think you have any inherent like ability to mimic someone's voice exactly. But you can try to make a performance check to sound like them if you would want to do that. And we'll see how close it is.
Yeah. I'll sound like worried Fred.
What do you do to sound like worried Fred?
Shaky voice, because he was shaky too when I did the deception on him. He kind of was like wobbly voice, so I'll try to channel that same energy of like, okay, what's going on here? Like, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
And sound as close to that as I can, saying that, yeah, we weren't ready for the robbers in there, and we need to find our backup. And he doesn't know how to get out of here.
Remember, you're not.
You need to find your backup?
Remember, you're Fred.
Or his backup. Yeah.
Oh, his backup. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like, you remember who you are right now.
Make a performance check.
22.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're talking and he looks a little like confused, Fergus. And then Fred chimes in and kind of like corroborates this. So go ahead and make one more to simulate advantage. Make another deception check.
Deception 4.
Okay. What? Who overwhelmed you?
The rock. Are you new?
Fred, get away from him. He starts to draw his sword.
Fergus, with that, Fergus kind of reaches for his weapon in a deal of like, who are you?
I'm going to make a movement around to behind Rico.
Everyone needs to roll initiative.
Because, I mean, Rico would already know who I'd be referring to because he was there for me coming in.
If he believes.
Yeah, if he believed me in the first place.
I got a 6 on my initiative.
Okay.
I got a 15. Rascal got an 8.
Okay. What was it that you said to Rico?
When he kind of did, when he said like, who are you talking about? He reaches for his weapon and goes, "Who are you?" In a deal of like accusing him of being an imposter because he's like, you should know who I'm talking about.
Okay. Rico is very fast. You react to his like distrust of you, and reach for your weapon. And so in the moment that it takes you to reach for your weapon and respond to him, he has taken a few steps, closed the gap, and is beginning to attack you. And I believe that is where we will pick up next time for the very conclusion of the heist. And we shall see what happens at that point.
Cool.
Oh, buddy.
Man.
Made every single check right up until the end.